All right, how's it going, guys?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Not even close.
No.
Not even close.
All right.
Not even close. So, as usual, we're going to wait about a minute or two. Let everybody get online because it takes some time for it to go through the algorithm. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. I know it's the off season, but
But there's stuff.
I have some issues.
Yeah.
Not. Oh wait, I should repeat that. I have some issues with some issues. I don't have. Well, I probably do have issues, but that's a different live show and probably a different channel. Anyway, so. But I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, man. There is no other. It seems like there's no other sports channels out there. I couldn't find one that wasn't a bunch of idiots making jokes the whole time.
Oh.
Are there any independent YouTubers who aren't just trying to be comedians? I mean, I'm sick of it. Every single sports channel I try to find. See, you try to find alternatives. It's ESPN all day long, and they completely saturate the market on YouTube there, and them and Fox and a few others like Pat McAfee and Barstool Sports and all that. Those aren't indie. Those aren't independent, and they saturate the market too. And it's just that's all you have. And then if you want to go independent, every single independent guy who you can even find or comes up is all trying to be a fucking comedian.
Ugh.
You know? And I'm sick of it. Do you want to be a comedian or do you want to do sports? Like, which is it? So I can't find one serious person.
Well, they even list themselves as entertainment type of channel, not sports.
Yeah.
So, I don't
Well.
know. It's interesting.
What's up, guys? I use the F word right at the beginning, and I don't think YouTube likes it when I do that.
Uh-oh. But then you have channels that are centered around that all, remember that
Cussing
guy
the whole time, yeah.
cussing the whole time?
Yeah.
That's all he does?
So let's see who's here with us tonight so far. Some random Patriots fans here first. Dennerlin, what's up, Dennis? All the way from Germany. That means if Dennerlin's up, that means he's up late with me. See it twice. What's up, Daniel? Alex Gesture, nice to see you, Alex. Brian Mangum. Again, I always want to call him Brian Magnum. I keep
Yeah.
screwing that up. Jalen's here. Jalen, change your username. Lord Varsh. What's up, Lord Varsh? Straight from England. That means he's late too, like up late now, right, with us too. John Thomas Chavez. Of course, Dave 98. Hey, Dave. Missed you last week. Trev's here. Donnie Thomas. Donnie Thomas says, "I follow you, big dog. Your content alone is why until now I didn't know you told jokes." Yeah, I don't. That's well, you know what?
Well, we try to have fun,
If
though,
I'm
but...
funny, if I come across funny, it's because I'm angry about something.
Yeah.
So that's usually the format it comes in. But I don't know if that was in reply to what I was saying earlier. But if it is, what I've noticed is that these guys, you can tell that they wanted to be comedians for a living, and then they went to sports. And I've also noticed that a lot of people, they wanted to be journalists and newscasters, like in for CNN and Fox and all the big companies. And because that's such a difficult field to get ahead in, they went ahead and went to sports. So all these people seem like sports is secondary to them, and it doesn't mean as much. And I'm just sick of I want to support independent content. I do. That's why I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it to see what other guys are doing and maybe pairing up, and joining. We help each other out and we broadcast to each other and things like that. I want that. That's how we're going to steal views from ESPN and those other companies. But I'm having a hard time finding anybody who isn't just wanting to shit talk and shit post. Everything. I mean, I get it. Some of it's funny. Some of it's good, but it's like everyone is doing that. And you can't get a serious take. You can't get anybody just being honest. And I'll tell you guys what. You know what that's one reason why that is an easy route? When you go the comedy route, when you go the comedy route, it gives you a way out if you're wrong. Okay? So if you make a take, okay, a bad take, let's say you say something like Aaron Rodgers is a horrible quarterback or whatever. He's going to have the worst season ever, and then he goes on to win MVP. Instead of having an answer for that take, they say, "Oh well, we're just funny. We're just shit talking." Well, what a great position to be in, where you can just say random things and people take you seriously. When you're right, you take credit for it, but when you're wrong, you say, "Oh well, I'm just being funny. I'm just shit talking." It's a great position to be in. I've noticed that. You don't have to be. You're never wrong technically in that aspect. So that's why it's easy. These guys just say random shit all the time, and they're never held accountable, and they never readdress when they are wrong about something. I have never ran away from that. But anyway, I'm trying to find some people, but I don't know. There's two dudes right now that I like, but we'll see. But for the most part, they're all just dumbasses. Let's see. Nightly Sinister, what's up, Kevin? Nice to see you, man. I remember when you went by Nightly Suicide on Xbox.
That's your friend, Kevin. Okay.
Yeah, I've known Kevin. Me and Nightly Sinister, we've known each other since kindergarten.
Yeah.
Seriously. We started in kindergarten and grew up together. Friends for a long time. I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to tell you anymore how old I am. So.
Yep.
Donnie Thomas says, your Rob Parker takes are great and funny. Yeah, it was a reply. When it's about sports, just give me the facts and numbers. I can go elsewhere for my stand-up. Yeah, exactly. If I'm funny, it's incidental. And it's usually when I'm being a smartass or something. And funny's good, and all that. But it's all the time.
If you're trying too hard, it's just you kind of, you can see it right away.
Yeah, and my thing with Rob Parker, and the reason I don't pick on him as much as I used to is because I honestly think that he's got some kind of mental deficiency or something. So I tend to go after people I know better, and I can hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Lord Barsh says, have I checked out Speak Plainly? No, haven't. Black and White Sports, I do know that one, yes. Yeah, I saw some takes they had, was really good. Yeah, I forgot about them, actually. But also, there's another aspect. Some of these guys who are serious, they're also, they go down the political spectrum a lot. There is another guy, a bigger guy, but he's kind of an asshole. And he doesn't care. Like, he thinks he's a celebrity. He thinks he's somebody. But he has good opinions, and man, me and this guy agree probably on so much. But yeah, he thinks he's hot shit. So it's no good. But that's also what happens too. Yeah. Well, sports debate shows, random pages, sports debate shows, they can be fun. I loved First Take and Cold Pizza First and 10 back in the day when it was Skip Bayless and Woody Page, and a lot of it was nonsense, but they increased the nonsense over the years, and now that's all it is. So you can't get much of a substance anymore. You never know who is telling the truth or not. The only way to decide how honest they're being is if you kind of know who they are and know how they really feel. But if you don't know their personal history or how they feel on a subject matter, you don't know if they mean that or not. So, for example, I know Nick Wright is a Patriots hater. He's a Brady hater. Okay? Why do I know that? Well, he's a Chiefs fan, and he makes a lot of dumb takes privately too. So I pretty much know that when he says something negative about the Patriots, I know he's serious. But if he's talking about something else, I would have no idea if that's even his real opinion. Max Kellerman's similar. Max Kellerman, we know he's from New York. He's a Giants fan.
Yeah.
So he's got a natural hatred for all things Boston. So I know he means it. And things like that. But then you've got guys like Stephen A. Smith, who one week he claims, I don't know if you guys have picked up on this or not, but one week he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and the next week I find out he's a Giants fan, and then the next week I find out he's Mr. Philadelphia. Okay? Oh, I wrote for Alvin. I wrote about Allen Iverson and all this stuff, trying to claim that. So it's like, and then I think he mentioned Chicago one time. He talks about the Bulls and Michael Jordan, how he covered that. And I just, where is this guy? What does he believe? What is his allegiances? You know?
Yeah.
You can't, it's just hard to figure out. But, yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, did I mention the political thing I didn't like? So, a lot of the sports, the indie channels, when they're serious, but they end up installing politics into things, and I don't care. I don't care which side of the aisle it's coming from. I want to stay away from that. And that right there, what I don't like about that is one of the reasons why I put LeBron hate in the subject matter, and it's not my opinion. It's actually my response and to their opinion, their reaction, which was complete and utter bullshit. And because it was such bullshit, I found that there was an opportunity for me to actually talk about a basketball reason and a real reason why LeBron is hated that has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, LeBron was hated from, like you were saying earlier, way back.
So, but we'll get on that. Yeah. So. Yeah, I like Nightly Sinister's cooler anyway. Okay. So we're just getting warmed up here. Yeah, Dave 98. Okay, yes. So Shannon Sharp, okay? I've known, not personally, but I mean, I know Shannon. I know what he does in his personality, okay? He was a phenomenal tight end in the NFL, okay? He's one of the greatest tight ends ever. And honestly, I would take him over other guys that people are putting over him. Like, if I had to pick Shannon or Tony Gonzalez, for example, I would take Shannon. But I'm biased because Shannon was at his height in the 90s when I was, watching football. It's just, that made an impression on me. I watched him win 2 Super Bowls, and then he won another one with the Ravens. So it's just, I don't know. And I like winners. Okay. But for whatever, so it's not a personal thing against Shannon now as far as him as a player. So I've always liked Shannon as a player. And I loved him on CBS. So if you guys remember that he was on CBS for the longest time, he was part of that crew. And then him and Dan Marino got fired. And I don't even know why. Yeah. He was on there with Dan Marino, and that was some funny shit, okay? So Shannon was awesome. And he never, ever came off as a Brady hater. Never. Like, I don't remember a time that he came off as a Brady hater. He was always just he was a lot like Deion. You guys know how Deion Sanders is always just like straight edge, like right down the middle. And he if he likes something, he likes it. But if he hates something, he's not going to just piss all over it, right?
Yeah.
He's going to show respect. Well, Shannon was kind of like that on CBS. And then he ended up with Skip Bayless. And now he's a complete asshole.
Now he's an actor.
He's an actor. Yeah, he's
taking
an actor.
the opposition, always.
Yeah.
Most of the time, at least.
Donnie, your thing about Patrick Mahomes, absolutely. So we're going to get to that. By the way, I wrote in the subject line, I wrote Brady injury, and I wrote that wrong. It makes it look like
he's injured.
Or Brady injured. Yeah, and it makes it look like Brady's injured. Sorry about that, guys. So anyway, that's fake news. So
Fake news.
I meant to refer to Brady being injured last year, and I was going to talk about the results of that.
Brady's injury.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I didn't write it
you cannot edit
correctly.
once you post it, right? So.
Well, I could have, but I forgot to.
Okay, that's okay. Is this Donnie? The Donnie I know?
No. This is a new Donnie.
Another Donnie. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, he's. I started seeing his name come up about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay,
And he joined.
Did Donnie change his last name? Well, hi Donnie. No. Other Donnie. Donnie Thomas.
Okay. If you own any Apple devices and constantly get asked for your Apple ID, it's very obnoxious. Okay. Mike Miller, what's up, man? Nice to see you back. He says, "Am I an NBA fan?" I think any love I had for the NBA died when Kobe Bryant retired, and not completely. Actually, that's probably the wrong word to use, but Kobe was the last, for me. Kobe was the last remnant, the last connection to the old NBA. Even though the NBA was kind of switching into like a new format and this new kind of soft rules and whining about everything, and instead of trying to make the play, it's just all about complaining and stuff. Kobe was still hardcore and an assassin on the court. But I kind of lost interest after that a little bit, off and on. I still followed it though, but right now I can't honestly say that I'm a fan. But I follow it just for the sake of sports and knowing what's going on, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
no.
I think you're pretty knowledgeable, wouldn't you say, about it? Yeah.
Yeah, but not a fan.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping some new guy comes up, some old school guy, some dude who's
some
just
fresh
like a
blood.
throwback, like some guy that comes in, he's like psycho, like hardcore nut job when it comes to winning, like Brady and Kobe are and Jordan was, when some guy comes along like that, then I'll be like, okay, I like that guy, and then I'll follow him. So, but I don't see anybody like that right now.
The dream team.
Skip. Yeah, Trav, hottest takes get the headlines. Did I see when Brady called out Shannon on the draft-a-thon? Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh my God, Mike. Yes. Okay. So during the draft-a-thon, Tom was on screen with a bunch of peasants. Okay. So when Tom Brady's on the screen with other people, they are now just peasants. Okay, that's probably mean. No, one of them wasn't a peasant. One of them was Deion Sanders, who was the GOAT defensive back. So it was Deion, and it was Brady, and then a bunch of peasants. But Shannon comes on, and Brady calls him out and says, "Hey, you've been hating on me and stuff like that." Dude, Shannon completely submitted. What? I mean, he just completely rolled over. Completely rolled over. I mean, he just tried to get out of it, and you could tell that Shannon didn't believe the stuff that he says about Tom. And plus, I've seen an interview with Shannon, and I posted it in one of the Brady Hit episodes. In fact, it's the introduction to one of them, where Shannon is asked at an award show, "Do you still think Brady is better than Rodgers?" And this was after Tom got his... it was after Tom beat Mahomes, or beat the Chiefs, I should say, not Mahomes, but beat the Chiefs with Mahomes in the AFC Championship game, and he asked, "Do you still think Rodgers is better than Brady?" And Skip said, "Oh, no, I'm sorry." And he looks in the camera and said, "Aaron, Brady's got you." Why would you say that in a real setting, a real life setting, and then the next day, like, go right back into the studio hating on Aaron, or hating on Tom, if you're not an actor, okay?
Yeah.
So I take what he said in real life in that interview as the truth. But my problem is not even to convince Shannon or if Shannon's telling the truth. My problem is so many people watch Shannon and think he's serious, and that influences people. Okay? That's the problem. What's up, DTA 2004? Welcome. Marcus 415, peasants. Yes, I mean, isn't everyone peasants when the emperor walks in? When Tom Brady's on screen, I mean, everyone else is a peasant except for Dion.
Makes sense, huh?
What's up, Nightwalker? Let's go, man. Straight from Germany, too. Shannon said, I'm tired of all this winning. Yeah. Well, see, that's probably honest. When someone tells me that, when I say, why do you hate Patriots? Why did you, back when the Patriots were dominating all the time, and I said, why do you hate the Patriots? The people who said, because I'm tired of winning. I'm tired of them winning. I would reply like, okay, that's like the most honest thing you could say. But then they come up with some other bullshit. But speaking of bullshit and haters, I want to actually put a shout out. Happy birthday to Joe Montana.
Yeah.
So, he is, he was the reigning GOAT for how long? Until Brady came along and kind of took it from him. It was about 7 years ago, I guess, something like that. So, but yeah, happy birthday to Joe. Joe was amazing, man. And but I tell you what, when people posted happy birthdays about Joe, it do you know that 90% of the comments on Joe's happy birthday video was people talking shit about Tom Brady? I'm serious. 90% of it. Okay? Only about 10%, and that's just me, doing a quick evaluation, watching, and this total guess. But yeah, very few was just simple. Happy birthday, Joe! You're my favorite quarterback, or or you're amazing, or anything like that. Most of it was, happy birthday, Joe, and you're the real GOAT, not Tom Brady. Or, happy birthday, Joe. Tom Brady is, whatever. It's just a cheater, blah, blah, blah. And
it's crazy.
Wow. People are unbelievable. So, yeah, Marcellus Wiley, he seems to be pretty cool. And you don't even have to like Tom. That's not the thing. Just be honest. Just be, realistic about it. That's what I look for. So, don't like it, move. That's still one of the funniest screen names I've seen. Well, exaggeration is not my complaint. That exaggeration is fun. Exaggeration is kind of exciting sometimes, where they go a little bit overboard, or when someone says something they really stupid and you get up out of your chair and you walk off. That's fun. Because we all do that in real life. Like, how many times have we been sitting around with family or friends and somebody just says something really funny or something just hardcore that's so true, and you jump out of your chair, and you kind of like walk around and run around a little bit. That's cool. I like that. So that's fun. What I'm referring to is every single day is nothing but hot takes, even if they don't have any kind of reason or proof of anything at all. I mean, not even close, and they just make up stuff every day, and that's the headlines, and that eats up the headlines instead of, and we can't even find out anymore something simple. Like if I type in Tom Brady interview with Bucks or whatever, right? Yeah. And I'm looking for his press conference, I have to go like 3 pages in to find that. And by the time I get to it, I've looked at how many first take videos and fake first take videos. Mm-hmm. So there's like these accounts in China and India and Bangladesh and Papua New Guinea and Myanmar and Sing Sing and wherever the hell these other places are, Singapore or whatever, not Sing Sing, Singapore.
They're copying.
And they create these fake channels, and you get this fake first take broadcast, and these titles of them are really strange. Like a title will be, Tom Brady says that Bill Belichick wasn't a great coach. And you watch the video, and it's a video interview with Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Like
clickbait.
Huh? What is that?
Yeah.
So it's just That's annoying too. They need to get that shit under control. Emperor Brady. What's up, Lord Darkside? Tiffany. See, Tiffany's honest. I didn't care for the Patriots and Tampa Bay because they made both my teams look stupid during the Super Bowl. Yeah. Yeah, Nightly Sinister, like a Tom joke. Donnie says, personally, I think... actually, I'm just going to pop this up here. He says, Donnie says, personally, I think Montana doesn't like the GOAT title going to Brady. He always says players like Otto Graham have, 10, 11 championships? Exactly. Otto has 3 NFL titles that the NFL recognizes, and 4 from the AAFC. And Donnie, that is so funny that you bring that up because I've got in a good conversation with someone on one of my videos just the other day, and I invited this person to come on to the show and debate the it wasn't a bad thing. We were having a great conversation. I thought what they brought up was really fun and interesting, and they were trying to explain to me that not only is Otto Graham's 7 championships equal to Brady's 7 Super Bowls, but he was arguing, or he or she, I'm not sure, was arguing that Otto Graham's 7 championships are more impressive. And I was like, okay. I said, first, this would be a hard sell to anyone, even Brady haters. This would be a hard sell saying that they're equal. But to say that they're even better, I said, that is such a unique perspective I've never heard. I said, you gotta bring this on the show. We gotta talk about this because I want to know why. And it wasn't some hot take or random bullshit. They were giving thoughtful responses, like real ones. Like this person was dead serious. Yeah. And it was just fascinating. But yeah, they believed that Otto Graham is not only equal but more impressive. That was interesting. But it was all because I was talking about the Bill Russell situation. You guys remember from last week? I was explaining how I needed to look into the NBA history and see if Bill Russell's championships are as impressive as Jordan's or Larry Bird's or Kobe's and et cetera. And then that kind of went into the direction of football because I made an off-the-cuff comment last week about Montana mentioning Otto Graham. But no, Montana, if you don't believe that Montana doesn't like the GOAT title going to Brady, I certainly hope not. If Montana if Montana actually is happy that he is no longer the GOAT, I would think something's wrong with him. Because that's not the Joe that I know. It's not the Joe that we grew up watching. The Joe we know wants to win at all costs and always be the best. So I would find that strange that he embraced it. What I didn't like about Montana regarding this subject matter is that he would make up superficial and like weird, stupid comments to discount Brady or to he went the other way and said these weird things that didn't make any sense, like the Otto Graham 10 or 11 championships, and then it's 12 championships, and in the next interview it's 13 championships. No, Otto Graham won 7. He went to 10. Okay, Tom Brady won 7 and went to 10. But Otto Graham, 4 of his championships were in a league called the AAFC. They were a competitor to the NFL. This was a long time ago, guys. All right? This is post-World War II we're talking about here. All right? Winning is winning. I've always said that. But there has to be a line drawn. In all sports history, there is a transition. Okay? There's a time where it goes from its infancy and becoming what it's supposed to be, becoming competitive, and then it crosses that line into this is the real thing, this is the legit thing. And I think Otto Graham played before that transition, in my opinion. I think the ultimate transition was the merger. So if you take 1967, pre-merger. Okay, so the merger was official in 1970, but I would say the transition was 1967, 66, 67 when they started this first Super Bowl. So Super Bowl one, and after that, so that was when the football became a powerhouse in American society, which means that the great athletes that normally would opt for baseball, right? So if you were a great athlete, you would want to play baseball. That's where the money was. That's where the fame was. So you're not going to be the NFL and the NBA and, well, I would say hockey, but most of those teams were up north. So for the sake of this argument, we'll leave hockey out of that. But football and basketball were getting the leftovers, so to speak. And you had exceptions, but it wasn't full-on talent pool back then. In the NBA, there was only, 8 teams at the time when Bill Russell was winning. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from his winning, etc. But when we're comparing guys like Jordan and Bill Russell, we have no more room now to talk about anything except for nitpicking, because they're such at a high level now. All right. So if we're talking about Russell, Kobe and Jordan and Bird and all these guys, right? It's because they've already passed all those other arguments and debates about points and longevity and winning and all that other junk, right? So once we get to that very top of the mountain argument and that debate between two guys, we have to start nitpicking. And every little detail matters. And those details include things like I'm talking about. When did they play? What was the competition like compared to this other guy? And when we weigh it like that, that's where I think some things might go against guys like Otto Graham and go against guys like Bill Russell. So that is what I was trying to say last week. And I don't think I explained it very well what I was talking about, but since the merger in the NFL, we know that we're getting solid talent. If you were a great football player in high school and in college, you went to the NFL. I mean, you didn't go and play other sports. Football was, if you were great at football, you played football. It was that lucrative of a sport by then. So that's why I feel that was the transition. And in basketball, like I said, I'm not a basketball historian by any means, so I don't know when a basketball aficionado would be able to say when that transition happened. But I'm guessing that it wasn't during all of Bill Russell's time, because there was only 8 teams. However, one props I'll give to Bill Russell, and someone in the comment section told me this in an argument. I was like, damn, that's a good point. That Bill Russell won 2 of his championships while being the coach and the player.
Really?
I didn't even know that. So I knew he was a coach, but I didn't know he did the player coach thing and then won twice. So that's pretty damn cool. Oh, 9 teams. Okay. Oh, William Arnold. Okay, so William, were you the one that we were having the Bill Russell discussion, or are you the Otto Graham guy? What's up, Celtic Nation? Yeah. I just when it comes to Celtics specifically, I think Larry Bird is the greatest Celtic of all time. I know that Bill Russell has got 11 championships. I know, and that's insane. It's freaking insane. I don't care, when it was, but Larry Bird. you know, what he did with those teams, and he was fighting against Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's Lakers, who was also one of the greatest dynasties ever, and then a rising Jordan, and it's just, I don't know, that was just a great era. And again, it could be biased too. I'm not afraid to admit that I may be biased because that was my my era, my childhood. So. Did I watch the NFL Top 100 plays from this season? Spoiler alert, play 100 is an incomplete pass. Are you freaking kidding me? They put Patrick Mahomes' incompletion from the Super Bowl as one of the greatest plays. He didn't say that. I just know that's what he did. I just know it. I feel it. An incompletion, huh?
That's a good thing.
It's the greatest incompletion I've ever seen.
Didn't know incompletion was.
It had a lot of torque.
Very, very torquey.
But yeah, with this the autogram conversation I was having with William Arnold, apparently. It's just so much to write, and when you're writing in text, you can't put behind your your emotions and stuff. So if you like write a question, it can come out sounding like a smartass, or you come across sounding condescending when you don't mean it, and things like that. But it got me really thinking. I was like, for someone to comment, about autogram in this way and be serious, and I was just like, wow, okay. Would you say 99% of the time when someone writes a comment to me on YouTube, that's something that's kind of, out there that you would never hear? It's just bullshit. It's nonsense. Okay? It's just them joking, right? They'll say Mark Sanchez owns Tom Brady.
Yeah. Right.
Like, because he beat him in the playoffs in 2010. Well, I know they're full of shit. And they won't even write anything. But what William here did is he wrote a thesis, and I was just like,
well argumented.
Wow. Yeah, wow, that was good. Yeah. So, bravo, William. Props to you, man. Trav says Tom has a record that will never be surpassed, 16-0 in the regular season. It's we talked about that last week. The undefeated thing is impossible almost. So many things can go wrong. Yeah, that I'm all over the place here, so I want to stay focused so we can cut these up later. So I want to just go from one subject to the next. But let me see here. Did I miss anything? Or am I caught up? We good? All right. So I'm going to get this out of the way real quick. First, just right off the bat.
The correcting Brady injured title, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a typo. But we don't want to sound like clickbait, right? Like fake news.
That's why I.
Let me see if it works.
That's why I brought that up, because I didn't want people thinking I was trying to clickbait. So I like Jalen's response.
What is it? Let's see.
Except he'll be the one to go. Let's see, 17 and 0.
Getting 17 and 0.
I'm gonna fix my screen here. I notice my arm keeps getting cut off. All right. So, hang on.
And guys, if you're new here, remember to subscribe and
Thank
hit
you.
the like button.
Exactly.
Yeah, that kind of makes the algorithm, work.
I also I didn't get everybody's membership email. Not everyone.
Yeah, we received some of your emails regarding your membership positions and everything, but if you haven't emailed us, please remember to do so at VonAllenSports@iCloud.com. We'll type it in the chat. Did you just do that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't know what we're talking about,
Okay.
Aaron's gonna explain that regarding the membership. I mean.
Yeah. So, but those of you who joined our membership, and those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, when you become a member, you get a ranking in the what we call the Empire, and then you get to choose what kind of life you want. If you've ever grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons, or if you play RPG video games and stuff like that, now it's like or Second Life or Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah.
You have a different life. You have a different thing that you do within that realm, and that's kind of what we're working with. It's like a club, and also we were talking about this recently, and we thought about having a membership only chat, like a everyday chat. See, because I have a group on Facebook, but I really don't like Facebook. But we thought about hosting a membership only group setting that's always just 24/7. It's just a feed, a live feed.
Yeah.
But we need to figure out where we would want to host that and how to implement that. So, but that's something that we have in mind that we think would be awesome.
Yeah, part of the membership again.
Right, part of the membership. But for those who joined the membership, please, and you missed the membership meeting last week on Saturday, please send that. Send us the information at that email I just posted it. Okay, so Tom Brady being injured last year. The reason I'm mentioning this is it was recent news because Tom admitted it. Now, we knew that he got injured, okay? Because at the end of the year, he mentioned that he was going to get surgery. And so he had the surgery, and it was successful, and he was very happy with the results. We know all that. That's not news. What the news is that he had it before the season started. So in this interview, he was asked about it, and he claimed that he knew he was going to need surgery on it back in April of last year. So if you guys remember, that was just a month after he left the Patriots and went to the Bucs.
Yep.
He didn't say a word about it. We never knew this existed. Why am I bringing this up? Because I cannot tell you how many debates I've been in and how many times I've had to defend myself on my own videos about Patrick Mahomes and why the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. And they bring up Patrick Mahomes' turf toe.
Oh, yes. That's right.
Okay. God, it always sounds like I'm always ragging on Patrick Mahomes, but I'm not. It's other people who talk about him. To Patrick's credit, after the Super Bowl, he answered the question. They said, did your turf toe have anything to do with this? He goes, no. He said, he even almost like, he kind of was like smart ass about it. He said, well, it was working fine when we beat Buffalo last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, I think in Patrick's position, he didn't want the loss to fall on that and deflect from the team-wide implosion. Okay? Here's why the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. Because there is another team. There is an opposition. Right?
People are forgetting that
Yeah.
it doesn't depend just on you. It's what about the other team? What did they do to make you lose? You know, it's like a weird concept, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so freaking tired of this. All right? Nobody plays a game in a vacuum. Okay? This isn't some void in space to where you were the only one affecting the outcome. No. The Chiefs didn't lose the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers won it. Death to the opposition. Thank you. Dennis. For those of you who don't know, that's Melena's catchphrase. So.
Yeah. There's an opposition normally.
There's an opposition. And it's driving me insane, okay?
Yeah. Like Nightwalker goes, the better team wins. Hello, shocking.
Shocking. So, I hear this from every fan of every sport.
Yeah.
Oh, our team did this or our team didn't do that. Bullshit. The other team exerted their influence over you. That's how it works. Okay? You're not a guy with a tennis racket who is walking up to one of those tennis boards and hitting the ball back, and then the wall is hitting it back to you. Okay? This isn't that. No, the wall is not putting any topspin on the return. The return comes back at you with the same amount of force, well, a little bit less force, but that you put on it. So that's all you. Yes, you are. So if you mess up your shot playing against a wall, that's on you. Okay. Well, I didn't see the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait, even the ball would bounce back. Because anyway, yeah.
Our first super chat of the night.
Yeah, Eddie. Oh.
Well, that's weird. The render unto Caesar didn't come up.
Huh. It's our new...
Maybe it's delayed.
Yeah, let's see.
But I'll go ahead and read it now anyway.
Yes.
Addy Vasorno, our lovable Cleveland Browns fan, says Brady is twice my age and he moves better than I do. I got to get on that TB12 diet where I don't eat strawberries. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. The TB12 method is legit, okay? When I was young, I still am, but when I played sports at a competitive level, I was always tall, thin, and very, I want to say, pliable. Like Tom Brady says, pliability, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Why was I pliable? Not because I was doing the TB12 method, because it didn't exist. I was pliable because I did Taekwondo as a hobby.
Oh, yeah.
And in Taekwondo, you have to stretch. So you learn how to, eventually you can do the splits, and you can, contort your leg up all the way. It's just, you guys know how martial arts is. All right?
Yeah.
I never got injured. Never. I've had my mouth busted open and a black eye and things like that. But I never missed a game. Never, ever missed any time, ever. I never missed a practice. I could take hits. I've been knocked over in weird positions. I've been, you name it. But everyone else, guys on the team who were heavier, who were lifting, who were in shape and muscular and everything, they get injured all the time. There is something about being long and lanky and stretchy Okay, and that's what the TB12 method is. It's pliability. It's about lengthening the muscles, and when you do, they give. So when you get your leg or your arm or something trapped under something, the leg will give a little more instead of a break. That's just one small aspect, but I'm just giving you guys an example of how a lot of this could be evaded, since he brought up the TB12 thing. But it's not just TB12. Tom Brady is an alien. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to just admit that right now. But he is the exception to the rule. So anybody who thinks that, oh, because Tom Brady can do it means I can do it, that's not necessarily the case. It doesn't mean you're going to be a pro NFL quarterback until the age of 50. So if these quarterbacks think that if they just do TB12 that they're going to be Tom Brady, they're mistaken. But as far as a healthy diet, it's pretty legit. And my brother, who comes on here, sometimes he's doing the Mental MMA show that's coming up. He says it's legit, and I know he knows his stuff. So,
Yeah.
But thank you for the super chat, Addie. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, when I was young, Addie, shut up.
That was a funny comment. Another funny comment.
Not everybody can be 21 or whatever the hell you are, Eddie.
See It Twice had a funny comment. He says,
He always does.
yeah, he always does. We were talking about playing in vacuum. He says, for the record, I have played in a game in a vacuum. It sucked.
Wow. What kind of vacuum was this? And what brand?
It's too funny.
And I need to know this. Did it suck?
Totally sucked. Hey, we got a couple other super chats.
I'm just reiterating what he said, that's all.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's good.
He's always got good stuff.
Yeah, and he came up with it right away, like right on the spot.
Oh yeah, he does it all the time.
Yeah.
The great Dennis Green, you played to win the game. Actually, that wasn't Dennis Green. That was Herman Edwards. You play to win the game. Dennis Green was, they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook. James Johnson sends a $5 super chat. I should say, why isn't that coming up? James Johnson renders unto Caesar.
Yeah,
It's funny how excuses have to be made for why people lose to Brady. At the same time, excuses are made to downplay Brady's wins and accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They work in every direction necessary. The excuses, right?
Yep.
I love it. The double standards.
Okay, what do we got next here? Oh, shit. Oh, man. Are you bringing that back, Dennis? Did you see what Dennis is doing? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Dennis Dennerlane sends an 1817 euros, renders unto Caesar 1817 euros. He says, I don't know if anybody reminded you of the final score of your loss from last year's trivia quiz against the Allies. Yes. He says, I hope we can make new... Okay.
Clarification, Dennis?
Let me tell you something, Dennis. You guys understand that because you called yourself the Allies, that means that I'm the Axis? And if I'm the Axis, that means I'm the Nazis. That's just not cool, dude.
Coming from a German.
Because you guys were made up of Germans, British people, and a guy from Queens.
Yeah.
And somehow I'm the Axis power. Okay, so yes, that was the red coat completely screwed me over on that one.
He's there.
And the score was 1817. But Dennis was one of the contestants. Absolutely. So. I don't think the red coat's here. I didn't see him.
Yeah, he's here. He's there.
Oh, shit, he is.
Yeah. Right on time.
So the red coat, absolutely, Dennis. So the red coat was responsible for that bullshit final score. Everyone knows I won, and they changed it on me. But by the way, guys, if you haven't seen it, that's posted in the video section. In the I have a playlist that has all trivia games, and you can go, and it's the one that says something along the lines of "My subscribers screwed me over" or something like that. Yeah, I can't remember exactly the name, but.
And then forgettable moment.
Oh, Elliot's on leave right now for the military. Awesome. He was in the Navy, he's in the Navy, but he was at Navy in Great, I think it's Great Lakes, Illinois. Yeah, it's where the naval training is. So.
Ray Lewis, yeah.
So yeah, okay. I'll get back to that, Donnie. So I'll get back to both those things I was talking about, guys. Just remind me. Don't let me off the hook on that because there's some things I wanted to say about that. Adi Visorno sends a $2 super chat. He says, Vaughn a Nazi confirmed? Well, apparently, because if they're the Allies, I don't know what else I would be. I guess that's what they were trying to imply. So if you have to imply anything, then I was the Japanese. How about that? Yeah. I mean, that sounds better. So. Yeah. And well, Japan is an ally of America right now. So, and actually one of our most important allies. So, yeah, I like that one better. Okay. James Johnson sends a $5 super chat. He says, the Chiefs did play against the wall. It's called Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., a.k.a. the GOAT. Let's go. Remember what I told you this morning about that meme? So I saw a meme. I don't know where it was, exactly, but I told her about it. As I said, we're just waking up, and all of a sudden, I just out of nowhere, I was like, I saw a meme last night. She goes, what? I was like, yeah. So it showed Spider-Man being bit by a radioactive spider and becoming Spider. I know a lot of you guys know this meme, but it's too good on how he became Spider-Man. But then somebody had went a step further and posted a baby picture of Tom Brady and superimposed a baby goat biting Tom Brady.
It's like the funniest thing I've heard in a while. Brady was bit by a baby goat.
I love that.
Oh, I love it. It's like
cheers.
So cute. Like we need to do a cartoon with a baby goat biting.
We need to get Sophia to draw that.
Should, our artist who's drawing all the players, the quarterbacks, and she's doing a great job. We'll be showing you guys soon some of her drawings. They'll like her. Yeah, she's amazing. And basically, she could probably draw this. That would be funny.
Yeah. So we hired an artist, like she's saying, and she's here in Sofia, like we are in Bulgaria. But she has been drawing for us for the past month, and what she's doing is she's drawing all the quarterbacks for our series that's coming up. The 30 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Right. So, as a lot of you guys probably know that I created a formula to determine how you would decide who is the greatest quarterback of all time. And William, if you're still here, and I hope you subscribed, William, Otto Graham will of course be in that formula. So what we're going to do is that's going to be very interesting to see what comes up.
We can run anyone there through the formula and see where they rank.
Yeah, exactly. So she's drawing all the quarterbacks. She started with Tom Brady, Buccaneers Tom Brady, and then she moved on to Aaron Rodgers second. I gave her Patrick Mahomes third, and right now she's working on Drew Brees. Yes. And the reason I've given her the certain quarterbacks now is I wanted to give her color opposites to bounce around in different different ranges. So she went from like the Bucks orangish, grayish kind of look to Aaron's green, to Mahomes' red, and then back to Drew Brees' gold, and then next time it's going to be Peyton Manning's Colts uniform.
Right.
So a lot of guys she's going to have to draw from different uniforms. So there's going to be 3 Tom Brady. So there's going to be the Bucks Brady, the Patriots Brady, and the throwback the Patriot Brady. So there's 3. Like with Peyton Manning, there will be Colts Peyton and Broncos Peyton. Now I'm talking about jerseys, not evaluation. Right. The evaluation is for the same player. But anyway, she's awesome. She's got this unique style. It's very, very cool. I love it, and I think you guys are going to love it too. So, and we want to bring her on the show and let y'all meet her and stuff. So that'll be cool.
Yes.
See it twice. Daniel says maybe if Mahomes had dipped his turf toe in Brady's Lazarus pit, he completed that falling pass. Absolutely.
Good one.
Who gave me a dislike? Assholes. What's up, Blacker 58? Let's see. Oh, so yeah, going back to having an opposition.
And Brady's injury.
So I'm not just picking on people who talk, about or against the Patriots or against Brady or whatever. Patriots fans do this shit too. Okay?
Yeah.
We're guilty of it too. How many times have you guys seen somebody write, well, we lost to the Giants because we did this or we did that?
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, for the most part, Patriots fans don't whine about what didn't happen. They'll talk about it, but they'll mention the Giants. They'll mention Giants defense and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But there have been a few who I've talked to about this, and they give no credit. They don't mention the Giants defense at all, and they don't mention that, okay, the Giants had Tom Coughlin, who is a phenomenal head coach. They don't mention all those guys that were on that defense for the Giants. They don't mention that when Eli Manning is in the playoffs, he's got a wild horseshoe up his ass. A lucky horseshoe up his ass. And they had Plaxico Burress, who was a great player. And, it's just they don't mention that there was an opposition there. Could we have played better? Yeah. Could we have done things differently? Sure, you can always do that. But that's not the only reason why. There are so many factors involved. Why did we lose Super Bowl 52? Well, okay, a misjudgment on game plan. Belichick thought that Nick Foles couldn't win with just his wide receivers. So he thought he'd go big body defensive back, which meant shutting down Eagles' 2 tight ends and their running game. Well, whoa, that blew up in his fucking face. LeGarrette Blount ran through our fucking faces. Our guy, the guy he didn't want to pay, the guy he didn't want to keep, ran through us like it was nothing. All right? That sucked. What did that have to do with us beating ourselves? We couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Foles rose to the occasion. What did he do? Belichick allowed him, said basically, we're going to see if you can win. He didn't think Nick Foles could win with his wide receivers. What did Nick Foles do? He's bombing it to his wide receivers. So he rose to the challenge. Now, there are also coaching problems and things that we did wrong. of course. But it's not all that. Even if we put in Malcolm Butler, which is my problem. So I want to make this clear, because I was talking to a longtime subscriber the other day, and I'm not going to call him out because some people don't like it when I mention them. But he was making some great points about the Super Bowl 52 Super Bowl. The Super Bowl 52 against the Eagles. And I was just trying to explain that my position is I don't have a problem with the game plan in the first half. Okay? I can't fault Belichick for creating a game plan that didn't work. All right? Because the other team are professionals too. The other team has a game plan too. And it's not always going to work. So that's not my problem. My problem is that after halftime, when you saw that it's a failure, you didn't change it. That's my problem.
Right. You kept doing the same thing. For example.
Do you remember yelling at the screen?
It's like, are you gonna do it again now?
Yeah, it's like, why is Butler not in? Now, to be clear, I am not saying that Malcolm Butler would have won that game. I'm not saying that. I don't know if he would have. It might have gotten worse. Who the hell knows? Okay? My problem is that there wasn't an attempt to change it. Okay? And on top of that, he didn't handle the Butler situation correctly. Don't let Malcolm on the field at a point, or don't put it in his head that he's completely screwed for the Super Bowl while he's completely dressed and he's crying on the sidelines in front of the other teammates. Okay? That psychologically screwed up the other guys. I'm telling you it did. It does. It would have. It would have. It
screwed us up.
Yeah, it's just
the fans.
Exactly. We were all wondering what the hell's going on. But the players, they also don't know what's going on. So that was handled wrong. What I would have done is if I was disciplining Malcolm, whatever it was that he was doing, I say, Malcolm, we're going with a different game plan. We're going to try something different, but be ready when we need you. Then Malcolm would have understood. He would have been on the sidelines thinking, okay, we'll just roll with this. He certainly wouldn't be crying on the sidelines. The only reason Malcolm Butler would be crying during the national anthem is because Belichick said, you're out. So, yeah, that's a coaching problem right there. That's a mistake. And then, of course, I would have thrown Malcolm in just to see what happened. But at the same time, I would have thrown in a fucking bunny rabbit. Okay? Anything was better than Eric Rowe after halftime. So, again, that's my position on that. I just want to clear that up because I did get in a long conversation with Peter and, I said his name.
What do you mean?
No. So, but Peter had some great points. And I just wanted to clear that position on that up from my end of it, that I don't know if we win. Maybe we do. I'd like to believe that we do. But the Eagles did a lot of things right. The Eagles played their asses off, and Nick Foles had the game of his life. The guy rose to the occasion. He did. Mm-hmm. And then that play that they pulled off, they called a Philly special. That was a brilliant play, guys. No one was going to defend that. Nobody was going to defend that play. That play was brilliant. It was executed perfectly. The timing to call that play, no one was expecting that shit. All right? Yeah. A 4th and 1 on the goal line like that? No. You're going power run. You got LeGarrette Blount. All right? A guy who has been plowing his ass through the Patriots defense. And you pull a trick play where you do a double pass and then throw it to your quarterback? That's about the ballsiest thing I've ever seen. That's probably that's the most ballsy thing I've seen since Sean Payton called the onside kick against the Colts in the Super Bowl against it was against Peyton, but Peyton Manning. Sean Payton called the play against Peyton Manning. So We have a super chat, $5 super chat from Dave Wilhauer. He says, "Hello, Lord Aaron. It's your Centurion spy, Dave from Florida. Appreciate you, man, and your work. When will you be back in the U.S.?" Very soon, actually.
Actually, this time.
This
for
time.
Real.
For real. Our cat got its passport, so it can become an American citizen. So those damn illegals. We're bringing in an illegal alien. Actually, no, he's legal.
Legal.
He's a legal alien. He's a legal cat.
Yeah, for a change. Yeah, so very soon.
Very, very soon.
And going down to Florida.
And it's going to be awesome because when we get back to America, we're going to set up a studio.
Yes.
So it's going to be freaking badass. So thank you, man. Appreciate it. Oh, you know what? I was saying a lot there. Let me catch up and see what you guys are talking about in response to what I was saying. Well, see it twice. He's a spy who says he's a spy to trick you into thinking exactly what you're thinking.
Yes.
So it's reverse psychology.
It works.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Dave said, he always wanted to work at CIA. It's fantasy land, and like I was saying, we are characters. So he's saying that in the real world, but if he said that in the meeting world, in the empire, during the empire, then it would be a problem. But out here, it's okay, it's safe. God, anyone tuning in right now is like, what's going on? What's he talking about?
Yeah. What empire? Lord Vaughn?
Okay, so Jalen says, I don't think Malcolm was kept out because of strategy. I think Malcolm did something that pissed Bill off, like Jonas Gray missing a meeting after gaining 200 yards. It was a punishment. Yeah, and Jalen, that's what we all believe, is that it was something wrong. But my point is, I can't prove that. I can only go with a game plan that was chosen. For whatever reason it was chosen, the game plan was to make Nick Foles win without his tight ends. And that is what they went with. And so for that first half, if that's the game plan, that's the game plan. I can't argue with that. That's just what the coaches decided. If it would have worked, we would have been calling him a genius. Okay? So if the Patriots end up winning that game, 34-21 or 34-14, then we say, what a brilliant move. You'd leave out Malcolm Butler. You'd go with a big body Eric Rowe all over the field. And then, that's what you do, right? We would have been saying how brilliant. So the first half, okay. But the way he handled the Malcolm Butler thing, like I said, and then not throwing Malcolm in after the half, that is where the problem begins. That is the legitimate beef that you could have with his decision making. So, I did see a documentary recently. A guy was claiming that Belichick threw the Super Bowl. There's a lot of shady shit in that, a lot of bad points that I don't agree with. He tried to say that Tom Brady was walking, and Tom Brady went around Gronk so he didn't have to walk by Belichick. And it's just like, how do you know that? What really happened is it looked like James White had his bag on the ground because he leaned over and moved it, and so Brady went around. But he tried to make it sound like it's like, dude, you're...
Well, depending on the angle and the camera angle you're using, you can prove... you can see things.
You could just say whatever you wanted. Yeah. So...
Make it so you could prove a point.
Yeah. So... I don't know. There's just a lot of weird things that he was saying. And then he was saying that Belichick wasn't coaching and wasn't arguing. I see no proof that Belichick wasn't coaching. I just don't. I don't. What is he talking about? I've watched the Super Bowl over and over again. I've watched the all the mic'd up and all the things that we could get our hands on. I don't see any proof that Belichick wasn't being a coach and wasn't coaching the game, as where I don't have proof that he was either. There wasn't a lot of footage that shows him where he's normally like, come on guys, blah, 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 like he always does. There wasn't a lot of that either. but that could have just been a production decision
Right.
because they lost. Normally, you want to show the brilliance of the team who won.
Mm.
So, anyway. I'll admit, he was weird. It was a little weird, okay? If you want to point, see, I like things that we can observe. Do I believe that something was wrong? Yeah, I do. But can I prove that based off of watching Tom Brady walk down the sidelines? I can't. But we can go with things that we know. One thing we know is that after the Jaguars game, and they asked Belichick about Tom Brady's hand, and he smarted up and he said, "It's not heart surgery."
Mm.
That was really, really shitty. Okay? Bill shouldn't have done that. Tom had a fucking hole in his hand. Okay? And not just a hole, on his throwing hand.
True.
It's ridiculous. Okay? And that's what you have to say? You couldn't just say that, hey, Tom's a tough guy and he's never going to let things like that bother him.
Mm.
And you know what? We've heard Bill say stuff like that before.
Yeah.
He's always had Tom's back when it comes to things like that. But that time, he was a total dick. So that, I would point to that as proof that something was wrong.
Mm.
But to say that Bill would throw a Super Bowl, that would give up a Super Bowl, that would take a loss.
Yeah.
Because he's mad at Tom Brady, I'm sorry. That's a hard sell. That's a really hard sell. As much as his ego might want to send a message to Tom, his ego would want a Super Bowl more. Because let's say hypothetically, okay? Let's say that Bill really did do that. Let's say that Bill was trying to stick it to Tom and said, "Tom, you're out there on your own." That would be the dumbest thing you could do, and that would be the worst result possible. Because Tom Brady set the record for the most passing yards in the Super Bowl, 505 yards. He had virtually a perfect game. No picks. How many touchdown passes? 3? Only 1 turnover, but it was a fumble, and that usually doesn't even come up on quarterback stats most of the time. And that was because his blind side wasn't protected. But if that is what Belichick was hypothetically trying to do, that was the worst possible outcome. Because it was Nick Foles playing against Belichick's defense. It's Belichick who is known for defense, right? So when your quarterback throws for that much and does that well, and you still lose the game, that is completely on you. That is absolutely on you. Yeah. You couldn't be worse looking. It's not like the Andy Reid situation where Andy Reid's thing is offense. So him and Matt Mahomes, they both go down together on that one. All right? But with Bill, the defense is his baby, and Tom's is the offense. Tom did his job. Bill didn't in this scenario. So that would be the dumbest possible thing to do if that's what Bill was doing. Okay? I just don't believe it. Yeah. I don't know.
There's another super chat.
$2 super chat from James Johnson. He says, "Was it the Law of Polaris video?" Law of Polaris. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember the name of the YouTube channel. It was just it had a lot of views. It had like 1 million or something. It was a bunch. And it was just some guy talking. It wasn't from a big company or anything. It was an independent guy. But there was a lot of stuff that was a stretch that I was like, yeah, he made some good points. He made some good points about the egos and things like that. But then he just took them too far. I don't believe there's a coach at the NFL level who would lose a Super Bowl on purpose. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. I don't care what the situation is. I don't buy it. Yeah, I mean, exactly. What coach hasn't made bad decisions? Coach, dude, the NFL is hard, guys. It's fucking hard. And we're also comparing this to Tom because Tom doesn't usually fuck up. Tom's an alien. And that's why Tom is Tom. But other quarterbacks, they fuck up too, and it's just how it works. Welcome, Meredith Watchtower. Tapasio, hey, nice to see you back. Let's see, what are you guys saying? Yeah, Jake Saunders says, is it a sin to give the other team credit these days? Because I never see Chiefs fans give Tampa credit for having a master game plan. They never do. And one thing about that is that at the trophy ceremony, when Tom Brady had the Lombardi, he yells into the microphone. He goes to his teammates. He said, "But we all expected this, right, guys? We knew this was going to happen." And what Tom was referring to, and we found out later. Now we know what Tom was doing is that whole weekend he had been texting all of his teammates, telling them that they're going to win. He was texting them saying, "Are you ready to win the Super Bowl today? We're going to win. You know that, right? You believe that." Every single one of them. He was guaranteeing that they were going to win. And the reason, and we found out why, and we found out some interviews with some of the other players later on, is that Tom had discovered a game plan on how to defeat the Chiefs. He saw an exploitation in their defense. So he was confident that the offense could do their job. All they would need is the defense to stop Mahomes. And he knew that his defense could get the job done. So when Tom said that on that night of the Super Bowl during the ceremony, that's what he was referring to. He had been texting them that we were going to win. And he's like, "So we expected this, guys, right?" That's what he was talking about. The ball's on this dude. Dude, you just got there. That team has been together for years, and you just got there. And you tell them, you guarantee a Super Bowl, you tell them, what if you're wrong? It's that's why he's the GOAT. Tom was phenomenal in Super Bowl 52, but I felt bad for him. Milena, do you remember when I was yelling at the TV? I said Tom is out there on his own.
Yeah.
I felt like it. I saw Tom walking back to the sidelines, and something was wrong. I don't know what was wrong. I'm not going to claim to know what was wrong. Exactly. But it wasn't normal. There was something about that game. Bad decision making. On the other side, tension, whatever. But I was yelling that the whole time.
Yeah.
I said, Tom is on an island, and he's just out there by himself. And I'd never seen anything like it. I never seen a guy just slinging the football around. But you notice something, guys? No one ever talks about it except us.
No.
Yeah. Other people never bring this up. Tom damn near won the fucking game on his own, and all we hear about is Patrick Mahomes and how he was out there running around, throwing the ball around all by himself. The dude didn't even score a touchdown.
He did not.
9 points. 9 points. Even with that brutal beatdown that the Seahawks Legion of Boom put on Peyton Manning in 2013, they got in the end zone. Eventually. Come on. But they don't talk about Tom's, what do they say? Tom lost to Nick Foles. Tom lost to a backup. Let me tell you something. If I run the Eagles, we go back there in that era, I take Nick Foles over Carson Wentz. So if Carson Wentz was playing, you wouldn't call him a backup, of course. He'd be the starter. Nick Foles ain't no backup. A backup is some dude who is playing at the 40% of what the starter normally does. That's a backup. That's what we consider a backup. No, Nick Foles was starting by the end of the regular season all the way into the playoffs. That dude was on fire. Okay? If we go this route, then I guess we could say Kurt Warner was a backup too. Where does it end? Tom Brady was a backup. Was Tom Brady a backup when he won Super Bowl 36 MVP? Hell no. He took over and, he got his first start in week 3. Is he a backup? I don't think the Rams would call him a backup. I think they'd say, well, fuck, I think we'd rather have Drew Bledsoe as their quarterback. So, don't give me that shit. Nick Foles was a backup. Nick Foles was Super Bowl MVP, dude. Nick Foles was slinging the ball all over the fucking field. Okay? He looked like Dan Marino out there. Besides, if you want to make fun of somebody for losing to Nick Foles, that's the fucking defense did that shit. So, but I mean, I wouldn't even do that anyway. But I'm just saying, if you're going to blame somebody, don't blame Tom. I got in an argument with an Eagles fan the other day. All right? So this Eagles fan, he said, haha, Tom Brady sucks. And then the next thing I know, a bunch of Eagles fans were replying to this. So it was like 5 of them. Now think about the logic and the train of thought involved here.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah. They go, we won the Super Bowl. Tom Brady sucks. He got beat by a backup. Wait a minute. So I wrote, basically, so you're an Eagles fan. Your team's biggest achievement and only Super Bowl came against the greatest quarterback of all time, and whom most people consider the greatest coach of all time. And you're going to discount your victory by saying that you beat a shitty quarterback. So think about this. If Tom sucks, then you beat a sucky quarterback. Doesn't that make your team look bad?
Yeah, it's not a great achievement.
Didn't you just devalue?
Yeah, exactly.
What your team achieved? And this is where I'll give Giants fans credit. They don't do that normally. I mean, I'm sure there's some, but normally Giants fans go, "Hey, we beat the GOAT,"
Yeah. Makes sense.
Hell yes. If I'm an Eagles fan, I'm going around saying, "We beat the GOAT."
Yeah.
I want that victory to mean something. When we beat Peyton Manning in the playoffs, I didn't go around saying Peyton Manning sucked. I said, we beat Peyton fucking Manning, dude. When we beat Aaron Rodgers when Tom beat Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, I didn't go around saying Aaron Rodgers sucks. No. I said Tom went and beat Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. So these people, they're literally shitting on their own team's achievement. It's fascinating, actually. It's like, wow. So. Oh, Red Coat, you've seen that documentary I'm talking about? Okay. Oh, it was a bad game plan, guys. It blew up in his face. But we also can't overlook the next year when he held the Rams to 3 points. So, but all of us are not going to agree on this forever. So, each one is independent of the other, in as far as decision making and things like that. They're just different situations. So. Okay. Tapasio says not getting great receivers for Brady is another aspect of Belichick. That is something where I'm not sure on. Not that he didn't get him great receivers. We know he didn't. But as far as is that something that needed to happen? So, in my opinion, when you have a quarterback as good as Tom Brady, or a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning, right? That should afford you the luxury of getting to go after defense, right? Okay, so if you had a shitty quarterback, like an average quarterback or whatever, what would you need to do to make him good? You would need to give him great receivers.
Exactly.
To make him better, to make up for it, the discrepancy, right? But if you got a great quarterback, you give him middle tier talent. And then that enables you to give him a great offensive line and then a good defense. That's what you should do. Now, as far as drafting offense, Belichick hasn't been the greatest at that. But I can see the benefit of when you have an elite quarterback, you should be able to cut some corners on the wide receiver area because it's so expensive. All right? And that's my deal with Aaron Rodgers right now. Aaron Rodgers, I think that every week that goes by reinforces my theory that he's pussy whipped and he's a full force woman and this is all about location, and I believe that. Again, I don't have proof of that.
California.
Yeah, but I think that this has something to do with that because there's nothing football related that I can think of that makes any sense. And he keeps proving that every week that goes by, that it's not football related.
Right.
But people say that, oh, well, Aaron Rodgers has a right to leave Green Bay because they never got him the receivers he wanted. Mm-hmm. Why would you need to? Aaron Rodgers has already won 3 MVPs. So clearly, whatever was happening is working. So you don't focus on that, and you focus on the defense and the offensive line. Maybe Aaron doesn't have 3 MVPs, but I bet he has another Super Bowl or something in this scenario. Like if you would think at least he'd go back to a Super Bowl is what I'm saying. I don't know if he'd have another Super Bowl, but he'd at least probably have gone back, I think. But no, the Packers weren't allowed to do that. They had to keep worrying about whether or not he was happy about not getting offensive players. And I'm just like, okay, well, in this scenario, I think they were right to draft defense. And if you look at the Packers' history since Aaron started, they usually draft defense in the first round. And honestly, I think that is the right decision. That's what you should be able to do. If they're so damn great, if the quarterback is so great, like you tell us, if he's that bad man, okay? If Patrick Mahomes is that bad man, if they're so amazing, then why can't we give them middle tier guys? I'm not saying you give them shit. Nobody can win with shit. Okay? Well, you can win with shit, but you can't win it for a long period of time. You need something. Middle tier guys should work, you know? And Tom has done it. Tom didn't get Marvin Harrison for most of his, a whole decade for his career. He didn't get Reggie Wayne. He got Randy Moss for one great year, and then he got injured. So, and then in 2009 was pretty good, but everything was out of sync by then, and the team was changing already by then. But for the most part, Tom has never gotten these type of things. He got Gronk, but Gronk is just a freak accident. He was taken in the second round. Nobody even wanted to draft him in the first round because they thought his injuries were too severe already. Dude had already broken his back while he was in college already before he goes into the NFL. But how much of Gronk starting out so well was a good rapport with Brady? How do we know that if Gronk didn't start out somewhere else that he doesn't have that rapport? Now Gronk starts out with another elite quarterback. Let's say he started out with Peyton or something. I believe Peyton would have made Gronk, a good player too. But we just don't know what the outcome would be. And Randy Moss wouldn't have happened if the Raiders hadn't given the Patriots such a good deal. So even that almost didn't happen. Brett Favre, he always wanted these great receivers, and he, for the most part, never got them. Sterling Sharp retired due to injury, and Sterling was there before Brett got there. But after that, Brett always begged. He wanted Randy Moss drafted, and then he wanted Randy Moss again when we went after him. And Brett didn't get that. But Brett still did some crazy shit. Okay? So yeah, Dave, I agree. If Bill had thrown the Super Bowl and that somehow got out, oh my God, that would be the end of the world. Yeah, for him, it'd be over. Let's see. It looks like there's a conversation going within this. I'm missing here. 3. Meredith Washington says Eagles defense at that point was what, top 5? Yeah, they were pretty damn good. Bad games. Cleveland has had bad games for 20 years. Ah, poor Addy. No. Yeah, I get you, Daniel. The quarterback, the elite quarterback is always going to be more important than the coach, okay? Because the quarterback is the one on the field who has to make everything work. The quarterback is the one that has to make all of his teammates buy into what the coach is selling, okay? I don't care. Now listen to this closely, guys. I don't care how good of a coach you are. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Bill Walsh. I don't care if you're Vince Lombardi. If Vince Lombardi had his coaching style and Bart Starr, okay, his future Hall of Fame quarterback, this guy was worshipped by his teammates. If Bart Starr suddenly started going to his players, telling them shit about Vince Lombardi, and about his coaching and contradicting everything he talked about. And then Bart Starr stopped acting and following the Vince Lombardi game plan and the way it was working and the discipline around. Guess what happens? Do you have any idea how quickly that shit comes crumbling down? Fast. Okay? But at the same time, the opposite happens. If Bart Starr buys in to Vince Lombardi, then guess what? Everything that Vince says and does goes through Bart Starr, and everything that Bart Starr does, the teammates do. Tom Brady is no different. So when Tom Brady buys into Belichick, Belichick's system works. But just as much as Brady could have, just as much as Brady sold that system on the other guys, he could have destroyed it. He could have been a complete cancer, wiped out everything in the locker room, completely destroyed Belichick, and then Bill's coaching doesn't matter how great it is. So when you know that a quarterback has that much power and he's that important, he is the most important. But after him comes the head coach. Absolutely. So. I'm trying to catch up here, guys. Just bear with me. Yeah, Belichick's coaching, Meredith, isn't for everybody. All right, so you need a quarterback to sell it. Not only do you need a quarterback who's willing to sell it, but he's got to be somebody who can prove it on the field and show that it works. Because just selling it's not enough. Like Cam Newton last year. Cam Newton could have been doing all the right things in the locker room. Okay? He could have been saying, to the rookies and the free agents who didn't know Belichick, and he could be saying, oh man, it's the right thing to do. Listen to Bill, what he's doing, it works. Don't get discouraged, all that stuff. He could be saying all the right things. But Cam wasn't performing on the field. So it didn't back it up. So these guys are watching and going, well, Cam says this coaching is correct, this game plan's correct, but he sucks ass. So how do I know that this is the right way? Why should I put up with Bill talking shit to me in front of the whole team? Why should I deal with this? So you need a quarterback that sells it, but also proves it. And that's what Brady did. Brady proved it. You need both. They need each other. That's the difference. You separate them, okay. They'll do some great things, but put them together and they set the universe on fire, and that's the difference. No, Jalen, I didn't mean when I said people don't bring up Super Bowl 52. I didn't mean people who defend Brady. I meant the haters don't bring up Super Bowl 52 and Tom's performance, but they make excuses for Patrick. Okay, but nobody mentions that what Tom did. So Belichick's not for everybody. He's got to have the right guy. And in his arrogance, I will say this: he's costed us some things sometimes, being arrogant and things like that. But overall, it's been great. It's been unprecedented. So, and let's give him another year. Let's see what happens. Last year was kind of like, what the hell, I've been hearing good things about Mac Jones. Of course, it was really great to see Dante Hightower return. The man himself back at practice and training camp. That's great. Since he missed all of last year. Yeah. So.
At least that. Some good news.
And again, let's not shit on Belichick based solely on what Brady does. Brady is an alien. Okay?
Yeah.
Brady is a freak. He is not normal. So it's just not. It's not fair. It's not fair. Like, it's just, you don't lose Tom Brady and just keep going. You don't. You lose Tom Brady. I mean, guys, do you remember 2019? That was the most atrocious offense I've ever seen in my life. I mean, roster. Sorry. They went 12-4.
That's like,
What? Really? You went 12-4 with that shit?
it was horrible. 12-4.
12-4.
Some
12-4.
people- It's not like 4-12,
Yeah.
but
Well, good.
it felt like it.
Could it felt like it? Yeah, because we were so used to it.
Because you're like
used to winning.
be
But,
up there and
yeah, but
unbelievable.
yeah, Tom is a different thing, man. So, Addy sends a $5 super chat. He says, if the Browns beat someone like Garrett Gilbert in the Super Bowl, I'd be talking him up like he's a top 5 quarterback in NFL history. Exactly, Addy. Exactly. Why in the world would you destroy or tear down the guy that you beat? Why would you do that? That's stupid. That's utterly moronic. Yeah, Meredith, the scouts are idiots for the most part. Well, when it comes to quarterbacks, they are, at least. Jake Saunders says, let me phrase it like this. Nick Foles made Belichick's defense look like Mike D'Antoni's. For those of you who don't know, Mike D'Antoni is an NBA coach, and he's all about fast offense and zero defense. Zero defense. So it's why the Suns could never win a championship. He was a head coach for a long time for the Phoenix Suns when I was living there, and
Yeah.
he drove me insane. Drove me insane. You wonder if Colts fans talk up Rex Grossman? No, probably not. They talk up that Bears defense, probably. Yeah, I just don't think last year is the prove it year on Bill without Tom. I don't think it's fair. Let's see what happens. This year is a good one because now he's had time to really install what he wants. He had the opportunity. He could have. Okay, so it's not like last year. Now he had the time to make a big trade for a big time quarterback. He could have done that. He may have could have. You know, all kinds of different options. Maybe go after Matt Ryan, go after Aaron Rodgers, try to get one of those guys. Matthew Stafford was available, but that didn't work because Matthew Stafford didn't want to go with our defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia. But I'm just saying, guys like this were available, and he chose not to go after them. He chose to go with what he thought he could do in the draft, which was Mac Jones. So he's been given a fair amount of time and a fair chance to make this work. So what we see this year is what he wants, is handpicked from him. No COVID, no players opting out, no fallout from Tom leaving. So the emotion of losing Tom last year, that's gone now too. Now let's see what he does. I think that is the test.
Yeah.
So. Aaron, some people think A-Rod would work in New England with Belichick. Dude, you go back in time and Brady doesn't happen and then Bill drafts Aaron Rodgers, that shit is over in 3 years because Aaron Rodgers' head would be such a mess by getting shit on so much. Yeah, so. Yeah. By the way, the Julio Jones trade, fuck you, Atlanta. All right. So we've been sitting around watching and the speculating about what was going to happen with Julio Jones. Where's he going? Where's he going? You know. And Julio Jones was saying, and fuck you too, Julio Jones, because you were saying, oh, I want an elite quarterback. Really? Really? Okay. You go to the fucking Titans? The Titans? Really? You said you want an elite quarterback, so you go from Matt Ryan to Ryan Tannehill? I believe that's a downgrade in Ryan's. Okay? But yeah, I get it. So you wanted to leave Atlanta. It wasn't Matt Ryan you were leaving Atlanta. Okay. But Tennessee? And fuck you, Atlanta, because that's the most boring waste of drama. There was no drama in that. It's just completely shitty. Tennessee did not need Julio Jones. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
What
are you thinking? I don't know.
Make a deal for defense, guys. I mean, what the fuck? What difference is Julio Jones going to make? That is just a complete. I'm very, very upset about the Julio Jones trade. So people can say, "Oh, it was a great trade for." No, it was fucking pointless. It was pointless. It was pointless for Julio, and it was pointless for Tennessee, and it was pointless for the other teams who didn't get him.
Yeah.
Where were you, Bill? Fuck, man. Like John Thomas Chavez said today, earlier today, I saw him post. He said, "Oh, so Josh McDaniels was finally teaching Lacoste how to get open. Too bad he couldn't have done that shit in 2019. He's finally teaching him how to get open." Mm-hmm. So, nah, we needed Julio Jones. Not just us. There's a lot of teams that needed Julio Jones. That makes sense for. And when you find out what they gave up to get him, it's a fucking joke. I'd give a first-round pick right now. Boom. I'd give up Patriots first-round pick. I'd give it up for Julio Jones. Done. Book it. It's done. Finished. Send them. Fuck the round picks. Fuck the draft picks. I don't need them. Don't care. Oh, but Julio Jones, you only get him for 2 years. You know, he's getting old. I don't give a fuck. 1 year. One elite year by Julio Jones. Give me that over a first-round draft pick that I have no idea is going to do anything or not in this league. I have no idea. And if my team is good, that first-round pick is basically a de facto second-round pick. Because it's at the back of the damn draft. It's so far at the end. If your team is good, what difference does it make? Who gives a shit? So you just gave a high second-rounder away, basically. No way, man. People put way too much emphasis on draft picks versus getting elite players. I want to win now, damn it. Don't. Ooh. That fucking word. Future. He's our future. No, I don't want that guy because this guy's our future. What does your future mean? Can someone explain that to me? What the hell does future mean? I want to know.
Yeah, potential.
Potential.
I don't want potential. I want reality. I want to win.
I want to win
now.
right fucking now. No. I want to win now.
Win now is more valuable than win in the future. Just like
no, possible win in the future.
Maybe win. Yeah.
Bullshit.
Just a higher certainty. It's higher certainty.
I heard that fucking shit from the Indianapolis Colts fans.
Probability. So they're saying the future is more important than the near future, like the now and the near future. Well, perhaps I should read the book. What's that book? Living in the Now?
Living in the Now. Living in the Now. I want to win now. Okay? I want to win now.
Yeah.
Future. What does that mean? Future.
I suppose that's not the winning team that would do that. I mean... Normally not a winning team.
And actually, the teams that end up with those young guys who go on to become a franchise quarterback, it was usually accidental.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't tell me that the Patriots knew Tom Brady was going to become Tom Brady. Fuck no. They started Drew Bledsoe after a season that went 5-11. They started his ass anyway. They gave the dude $100 million.
Yeah, and like if they exactly. So
They didn't know.
the first draft pick guys are not the ones, for the most recent examples, the ones who really made it, the big guys.
At
Like,
least 20 years.
You know, for the last 20 years, right? Or so. So pick, you know, someone that's going to bring you victory now. And pick also, or trade for also someone like another, a later pick, which has more probability based on recent examples of becoming a big star like Tom, or something to that effect. So I don't get that either, but anyway, let's see what you guys are talking about, and Aaron will be right back. I guess we missed a couple of super chats, but I'll let him read them. Oh, you didn't get these super chats, did you?
Future.
Or are you trying to catch up on the
I'm
chat?
trying to catch up.
Yeah, we're trying to catch up on the chat here. So we'll get to those
All right.
in a moment.
So thank you, Milena. That gave me a chance to grab a new soda.
Yeah, you gotta stretch those legs too, you know.
Future. Yeah, you want to read the next super chat for us? John Thomas Chavez.
Let's see if I can find it. Wait, I think I have to put my glasses on this one. John Thomas Chavez, $5 super chat. He says, the people who say that Brady should make do with trash bins, if he's actually the GOAT, will cry that their GOAT in Rodgers doesn't have enough weapons. That their GOAT is, I suppose. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's basically goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
If he's actually the GOAT, he shouldn't need a million Devontae Adams on his team. Okay? Not always. It's nice to have one, but you don't need them all the time.
You need some weapons, but
You gotta have something. Yeah.
You gotta have something.
Looks
But
like I've got another one from Elliot.
You can afford to, or you can test at least.
You should afford
get that
the
other
ability.
defense, huh?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
otherwise you'll do like that coach that you were saying, the Suns coach earlier, and
All
have
offense,
like
no
a win,
defense.
win, then lose, like a constant, like, you know, when their turn comes, they start winning, and then it's a very dramatic experience. It's like the possibility of winning. So then we have another super chat from Ray Lewis.
That's Elliot.
And he's a $2 super chat. It says, I mean, Joe Gibbs won with less than mediocre guys. Right. Yeah.
Joe Gibbs is special because he won 3 Super Bowls for the Redskins with guys who were just, 2 of his quarterbacks were backups, so you got to hand it to him, man. That's impressive. So,
yeah.
Well, they were backups coming into the starting role, and that's pretty cool, And then those guys didn't go on to be great quarterbacks after that, so.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive just to win, even if they weren't backups, even if they were normal starters forever. To win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different guys, because usually you do that with the same people. So Joe Gibbs is definitely the exception for that. Hell yeah.
I always have an exception.
But to go back to the future thing, I and I'm just so tired of hearing people say this. I remember when the Colts were making the decision to go ahead and let Peyton Manning go because they were going to opt for the first overall pick, which was Andrew Luck. I know that Andrew Luck was the best prospect since John Elway and all that shit. All right.
Right.
So? Oh, but Peyton Manning's older. He ain't got too many years left. So?
Yeah, get those wins. Do it.
Yeah.
And then work
exactly.
on that other back, that.
How many yards did Andrew Luck throw for last year for the Colts?
Yeah.
Can't remember. How many yards did he throw for the year before?
Mm.
How many touchdowns did Andrew Luck have? 0.
Yes.
Unless you count him throwing some passes to his wife in the backyard.
Right.
So
you never know.
You never know.
It's too risky for someone that has potential, and unless you have this amazing star that you already know about, and I don't know. You still.
But that's the thing. They're rookies. They're rookies. You just don't know what's going to happen. You had Peyton fucking Manning. You had Peyton Manning. I don't give a shit if Moses himself was going to be reincarnated into the first overall draft pick ever, and it was going to be the greatest fucking thing that you thought you've ever seen in your life. You already have Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
You trade that shit. You take that first overall pick, Andrew Luck. You take him and you trade him for the greatest slew of picks and other players, whatever you want, and you put that around Peyton. You freaking idiots. Idiots. So, Peyton's not going to play anymore. He's injured. Oh, really? Yeah, Peyton probably cannot hear what they're saying about that because a year later he won a fucking MVP and set the record for most passing touchdowns. And then he took Denver back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Future.
Yeah. Well, people are saying things like this about Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
let him go. Send him away.
Yeah. No one should get him, basically, because, really? What?
We got to get rid of Tom because our future.
Yeah, and then he just wins the Super Bowl. You're like, uh-oh. Well, I understand they're all trying to get this new dynasty, started with the young quarterback, but
only if you don't have a sure thing.
Right.
Or that sure thing is no longer a sure thing.
Yeah.
Okay? Now.
Yeah.
Them saying Tom Brady's at the end of his career. Let me tell you something. Tom Brady just replaced a guy in Tampa Bay who was Tampa Bay's future. Okay? So what was it? Six years ago? Something I can't remember how long it's been. Since Jameis Winston was drafted number 1 overall. First pick overall. And Tampa Bay said, Jameis Winston, he is our future.
Yeah.
That future guy just got kicked out of Tampa Bay for a 43-year-old man.
That future never arrived.
And that future never arrived. Exactly. Your future was a 43-year-old man that the Patriots thought that they probably didn't need anymore and they needed to move on because the Patriots wanted to have their future. So Tampa Bay.
Wait. Brady, what did they say? Well,
he's done.
He's done.
Sorry, but I'm really liking the Bucks' present right now. I'm liking their present.
Exactly.
Take your future and shove it up your ass. If I've got a sure thing, there is nothing, okay? Nothing in the draft that is going to make me give up my sure thing. All right? And if you believe in yourself enough, you'll be able to trade away those things that you think are the future if you have no other choice. And you'll be able to get another one. You'll be able to find somebody somewhere, some down the line. Okay? But you squeeze every last inch out of that guy when you have him. Have him leave the field on his fucking shield. Okay? For me to get rid of Tom Brady, he would literally have to be on a fucking stretcher for me to say, okay, no more. Okay? No mas. It's over. Tap out. That's what it would take for me to get rid of Tom.
Yeah.
That's what it would have taken for me to get rid of Peyton. I wouldn't have even gotten rid of Brett Favre. Because back then you didn't know what was going to happen. In fact, Green Bay got off to a slow start. It took them a few years to even get a playoff victory, and then they finally got to the Super Bowl. But by then, Brett Favre probably would have already been retired by 2010 anyway, so it makes no difference. But they probably would have had to. But they could have done better because they would have traded Aaron. If they would have traded Aaron, they would have gotten some more players, and then theoretically Brett takes them to the Super Bowl in 08 or 09. And that's what you would expect. So I am never for getting rid of a sure thing. And right now with the Aaron Rodgers Green Bay thing, the only way that you get rid of a sure thing is to bring in another sure thing. So, if you're going to let one legend go out the door, make sure you're bringing in another one, okay? Or a future legend. That's the difference. But what I'm talking about is replacing a legend with a draft pick. Because he's the future.
Oh, okay.
The future.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dude, you haven't taken a snap in an NFL game yet. And you want me to give up my future Hall of Fame quarterback for your ass? I don't think so. Fuck that. I don't give a shit how good of a prospect you were. So.
Yep. Hey, we have another super chat.
Future.
Did you get?
Is it from John?
Yeah, John.
$5 super chat from John Thomas Chavez. He says, by the way, this kid knows his history.
Yes.
He's very knowledgeable. He's very young, but he knows his shit. It's impressive because most young people don't give a shit about history or anything else for that matter. But no, John's a very impressive kid. He says, Edelman said in his book that Peyton beat New England in 2015 with his mind. I believe it. Give me that over the latest coddled prospect. Decision making is everything. Exactly.
Right.
The Denver Broncos, and I'm glad you mentioned this, the Denver Broncos, as much as it was about their defense that year, we all know Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware and those guys were fucking vicious, okay? Denver does not go on and win the Super Bowl with Brock Osweiler. Okay? So no matter how lethargic and done and finished Peyton appeared,
Yeah.
his mind alone and his presence, okay, his existence on the team and on the field, just being there, even if he's handing off the fucking ball, his existence is more valuable than anything you're going to get out of Brock Osweiler, okay? So it made the difference. It made the difference. Even Von Miller said, man, I went after Cam Newton with everything I had. I went after him with like a rabid animal because I wanted Peyton to retire with a ring. Okay? They wanted to win for Peyton. They wanted to win for him. And that makes the difference right there. And Denver's got an extra Super Bowl ring now. And Indianapolis Colts,
Yeah.
they don't have shit. They don't have a damn thing. They're still putting up division banners and shit. Okay? You know what we do with division wins? Someone gives us a hat and a shirt and then we throw it in the fucking trash. Nobody gives a crap. Okay? But that's all the Colts have. because they had a future. And you know what? This is not even about Andrew Luck, okay? If you would have put Andrew Luck on the Patriots, he's a legend right now. I mean, he's tearing up. He's lighting up the NFL on a good team. But the Colts were stupid and they didn't protect them, and they had bad general management. But the point is that those decisions wouldn't have been made had you still had Peyton Manning in town. Peyton Manning wouldn't have allowed that to go on. Ryan Grigson would have his ass would have been fired so quickly after the ineptitude that he showed. I'll disrespect Brock Osweiler all day long. That dude's a loser. Yeah, Johnny Unitas. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. He had a crazy ability to have mind games over everybody else. And it's just, you play differently too. You play differently. When you're a defense and you see Peyton Manning, you don't, even if Peyton can't get the ball, he's having trouble throwing and it's painful for him. He's at the line, faking out shit and changing the play, and you just don't know. And you're second guessing yourself. Okay? How many defensive players have said that Peyton makes them second guess themselves? They think, oh, I had it and then I didn't. But I could have had it. I picked it right, but I hedged and I changed because it's Peyton. But if it was anybody else, that wasn't Peyton or Tom or someone like that, you would have went with your instincts and you would have made the right decision. But you changed it because it was Peyton, because it was Tom. That's the difference right there. Now, as far as Edelman saying that's the reason they lost, that's not the reason they lost. But it certainly didn't help. Peyton being out there was a difference maker in some capacity because of that reason. So
it was a factor.
It was a factor, exactly.
But it was not.
It was a factor, but not the reason.
Yeah.
It was way more to it. The reason was Brady getting lit up 1,000 freaking times. By DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, and then Steven Gostkowski doesn't know how to make an extra point.
How many times have I been disappointed at that?
Gostkowski was on my shit list ever since then.
Yes, he was. He's still one of the best, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's what's so funny about it.
Kick the ball. I don't know. It looks easy, but I'm sure it's not. But when you get paid
when you're getting paid $4 million a year to kick a fucking ball, you better kick it.
You better kick it.
We're not talking about field goal. We're talking about an extra point.
Yes.
No, Edelman didn't play at all that year, and that was Super Bowl 52. I mean, yeah, he wasn't there, and neither was Dante Hightower. And are you telling me that Dante Hightower's there? The defense is that shitty?
Yeah.
Come on, I don't think so. You guys also have to understand, Luke, regarding Peyton, you don't know how much Peyton was involved with helping the Denver Broncos defense game plan. Okay? His familiarity with the Patriots, his familiarity with what they like to do and what they don't like to do.
Yeah, there's so many additional advantages. I mean,
so while his personal play was shit, what did he offer in other ways that wouldn't be there if he wasn't there?
Right.
So you have to consider that too.
Just
It's like I told everybody about the Drew Brees Saints situation right now.
Yeah.
I would be begging Drew to not retire.
It's the transfer of competence, like the
Yes, competence, exactly. That's a good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Transfer of competence. That's good. Did you just make that up, or is that like a term in somewhere?
I think it's a sort of might be something similar to that is a term. Yeah.
I like that. Transfer of competence.
Yeah.
Well, if you made it up, let's patent that shit.
No, I think it's kind of a term.
But that's exactly what it is.
It is.
Transfer of competence. Or not.
Or not. Or no transfer.
Or incomplete. Incomplete.
Incomplete transfer.
Incomplete transfer. But that's true. It's so true. My opinion with Drew and the Saints is this. Yes, if you go back and watch the playoff game, you can see that Drew was throwing the ball short when he was intending a receiver to be 10 yards deeper.
Yeah.
Something was wrong. Okay? Now, we also know that Drew was going through 1 million injuries last year. But it's not like they've got, okay, some amazing dude waiting in the wings. They've got Taysom Hill, who's not even a quarterback, and actually he doesn't even have a freaking position. And Jameis Winston? Really? No. Give me Drew Brees, who maybe has to nickel and dime a little bit during the season, okay? Give me him, and just having him there in his existence, give me that. I would beg him to come back before I would go with what they're doing. And they had no options other than Drew Brees at quarterback because they had the worst cap situation in the entire NFL. Negative $200 million.
Yeah.
Okay? At one point, it was at negative $200 million. They had to fix all that shit. So that would be a situation where even the fact that Drew was clearly physically having a problem, it was obvious. I still would have tried to talk him into it. But please. Yeah, it didn't work.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Frank Ridley, you know what? So Frank Ridley said Drew Brees was a stat hog. We like to call him a stat whore.
Yeah, we actually.
That's his name. At VonAllen Sports, he's actually a stat whore. He's the king of stat whores.
Yes.
One Super Bowl victory with all of his stats is ridiculous. You know what that is, Frank? That is what happens when a team's head coach is matched with a quarterback, and that head coach is an offensive guy. Okay? Very rarely does it work. Usually, it doesn't last for long unless you get a defensive coordinator that's legendary. Okay? But if you get that defensive coordinator is not going to stay for long. Okay? So, for example, Pete Carroll. Well, the Legion of Boom and the Seattle Seahawks and all that couldn't become a dynasty because they lost their defensive coordinator because the Atlanta Falcons took him.
Right.
So you couldn't keep them around long enough. And when you're all offense and no defense, it's hard to get a dynasty. And you can get a one-off, you can get a Super Bowl. The Chiefs did. The Chiefs, Andy Reid, offensive head coach, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
It works. You can get one. But man, if you got a great head coach who's a defensive guy and you've got a great quarterback who's basically like an offensive coordinator, you got a really good thing going there. And all that stat whoring, Frank, that you're talking about, that is a result of Sean Payton as well. Sean Payton always wanting to throw the ball, always wanting those stats. He loves stats as much as Drew does. Those two love stats. My God, man. Okay? He loves they love stats as much as a politician loves hookers. And that's what they're doing. Racking up those points.
Yeah.
But it didn't translate to winning Super Bowls. It didn't work for Aaron Rodgers either. Mike McCarthy's a good coach. Don't let this first year with the Cowboys fool you. He's a good coach. Overall, he's a good coach. He's an offensive coach. But like I said, rarely does this work. There's exceptions. Okay, there's an exception with Bill Walsh and Joe Montana, but they had a great defense though. They had good pieces there, and that's the exception.
Yeah, you have to have both.
You have to have both, I think.
One
I
way
think
or
you got to
another.
match both. Yeah.
Either with a coach, or just a very strong defense. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have an offensive head coach, you better have a great defensive coordinator. But again, that D coordinator, after you win one Super Bowl, someone's going to take them.
Yeah.
Someone's going to take them, and that's the way it works.
But yeah.
Yeah, Elliot. That Bucks Saints game could have been way worse for the Saints. Actually, it could have been very embarrassing. So. Oh my God. You said, I said, Odson M8 said, forgot where I saw this stat, but Breeze has the most passing yards and touchdowns when down by at least 10 points in the fourth quarter in NFL history. That's a lot of garbage time.
Who needs those except...
Do you remember your comment about garbage time? They can't even score garbage.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I probably told that joke too many times.
Could be.
Yeah, Marshall McCash. Welcome, by the way. Love seeing new guys. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And guys, please click the bell icon for all notifications. If you don't do that, YouTube will not always notify you. And the channel won't grow. Right now, we're having some kind of problem to where every time we get a subscriber,
we lose one.
Something, it's very bizarre. Don't know what's happening. We're trying to figure it out. We contacted YouTube. Don't know. But
try to advertise a little, and it's really counterproductive, and
it's just a bizarre thing.
Really
But if you can, post links and stuff on your social media pages and things. Anything helps.
Comment on the videos and stuff like that. But most important, subscribe. Yeah.
And that bell. Subscription ain't enough.
Bell icon.
Subscribing won't necessarily mean that you'll get notified, but that bell will do the job. Marshall McCash says, actually it's not Marshall, it's Marshall McCash. With a criticism for Sean, he's even said he passes so much he forgets he has a run game. Yes, exactly. The Saints have had really good running backs, and they didn't use them. That's absolutely true. That's another good point. And when you're thinking about the flashy quarterback throw, and it's fun, it's exciting, and that's what they like to do.
Torque and
but you love torque. You love the torque. You have, the torque is the thing. You forget about the rest of football. You forget about all the other aspects of football. So
it's like the bells and whistles, though, of something.
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every deep run they had, they used their running game more. Yep. Sean is a passing coach rather than pure offensive one. In my book, it only took near Hall of Fame running back for him using running game more. Well said, McCash.
It's like the stats to me, like,
Stat
kind
whore.
of like show off. Oh, I can do this. see how great I am. Oh, I'm so cool. I can do this. But can you really do this and win? That's like the important part that we always say, right?
I don't give a shit
I don't care
about
how fast
stats.
you can run and throw and run around and throw. Can you actually, you know,
Is it
score a
translating?
touchdown? Is it
translating
into winning?
to winning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great. Okay. 50 touchdowns. That's wonderful. 55 touchdowns in a season. That's freaking amazing. 48 touchdowns and so on. Did you win? Did you win the Super Bowl? Then I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. All right. Who the hell is T-Series?
I don't know. Where do we get there?
Or what is T-Series?
Who? Oh yeah, T series.
Donnie asked a good question here. He says, it's reported that the Saints were Tom's choice before Drew decided to come back last year. If he had went to New Orleans, do I think he would have won a title there? It would be looked upon less than Tampa Bay. I do. Okay, so I did not know that about Tom, but I did know that the Saints had said, and Sean Payton said that Tom was their choice. So they were waiting. What happened last year is they were waiting for Drew to say it or not if he was going to return.
Right.
And then once they found out that Brady was leaving, they were like, "What the hell?
Yeah.
What do you want? What's Drew? You know, what are they going to do?" Had Drew not come back, they were going to call Tom. But I didn't know if Tom wanted to go there. But why wouldn't you, right? Sean Payton's a great coach. Why wouldn't you? And they had a great roster last year and going into that year. Does he win a Super Bowl there? Yeah, he does. I mean, really? Guys, Tom Brady just won a Super Bowl with Bruce fucking Arians. Mr. Burger King. All right? Bruce Arians. Give him Sean Payton?
Imagine.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And it just, yes, absolutely. Absolutely they win. Yes. Yeah. And not only do they win, but Tom would have less interceptions. So. Because Drew Brees is not Tom Brady. Okay? With all that offense that Drew Brees does, he's just not Tom. Tom is different. Tom will slow the game down. Tom will not stat whore. Tom will be like, no, we're running this ball today. Okay? He's like, no, our opponent this week, they are great at stopping the pass. We're going to run it.
He'll do what's necessary.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
To win, not to, selfishly get some stats.
And don't forget, they would have added on Gronk. So you got to understand that everything that he brought over. So he brought over Fournette during the season, Antonio Brown, and Gronk all come with him. So now they're on the Saints.
Yeah.
So. You know what? There was a super chat here from Elliot. There it is. $2 super chat from Elliot. He says, they love stats just as much as LT loves cocaine. Hell yeah. Could you imagine playing in the 80s and having a coked up Lawrence Taylor coming for you? Ouch. Yeah, wishing bee. says, but it is all Tom Brady's games that come to mind in fourth quarter down by some score, particularly in the final minutes, and that's the difference maker. How many times are other teams, they're right there in the winning position, but their quarterback doesn't get the job done?
Oh, yeah.
Drew Brees is a great quarterback, okay? He'll go down as a great one. He's first ballot Hall of Fame, obviously. But there are different tiers. And he's not at that level. He's not the Montana level. He's not Peyton. He's not Brady.
Not the VIP.
Yeah, it's not Elway. He's not, it's just, no. And that's the difference right there. And it's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't get it done. And he doesn't get it done. And over and over, something happens to where he doesn't make the right decision. So. Oh, thanks, Frank. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, please click that bell, guys. Yeah, you give Tom the Saints. I honestly think that's an upgrade. That's a better situation. So,
Yeah.
in fact,
Overall, better team.
God, guys, in fact, that team might have gone fucking 14-2, 15-1. That's scary to think about. So. Oh, I knew you agree, Tommy. Donnie. I knew you agreed. Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah, but would it have been looked upon as an achievement that it's looked on winning with Tampa Bay? Well, I don't know, man. Apparently, this is what's going on right now. So Tom wins the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, and everything, it went from before the season that Tom was going to suck and it wasn't going to happen and nothing good was going to happen, to now that Tom's won, it was a stacked team and even Jameis Winston could have won the Super Bowl with that team. Really?
You can't win. They're always going to say something. They'll find an angle to devalue.
Stupid motherfuckers.
This is bullshit.
Oh yeah, Montana they got destroyed in '86 by the Giants. Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Lawrence Taylor. Does anyone think Tampa Bay will go undefeated this season? No. But it's a scary thought. I'll tell you what's a scary thought. Is that Tom, when he talked about his injury, he said, now that I've had the surgery and the results are so good, I'm going to be able to do things I couldn't do before last year. What? Are you kidding me?
There's more to it?
There's more. Yeah, there's more. What the fuck does that mean? What is he going to do? Is he going to levitate? Is his head going to spin around and he's going to spew vomit all over the defense? I mean, seriously, what's going to happen?
Add some torque, maybe.
He's got torque. He had plenty of torque last year. In fact, he was one of the torquiest of all torquers. All right?
Well, he adds more torque, I guess.
How can you add more torque? That was a lot of torque. I mean, seriously, what's he going to do now?
Double win the Super Bowl?
Can you win the Super Bowl twice in the same season? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Just to let y'all know, that this is how much Milena thinks of you guys. She's over there petting the damn cat. You want to return to work? This is why you never, ever trust a woman working with you in the same room as a cat. Because the cat is adorable and it takes your attention. So let Ramsey sleep.
He needs some attention.
No, Ramsey's, if you wake Ramsey's up, he's going to stick his head through the green screen like last time. Okay? So. James Johnson sends a $5 super chat. He says, Brady had a hurt knee with a new team, threw 3 interceptions in the NFC Championship, and even with home field advantage, Aaron Rodgers still couldn't win. That's a bad man.
That's really bad.
Maybe he's not a bad man. Maybe he's just
Bad.
a bad man. Like you said. Maybe he's just bad. Okay. Well, he had a bad game. I know that. Dude, that interception before the half that he threw, that right there, that was a killer right there. That you cannot let that happen. Tom Brady's interceptions in the second half, those were punts. Okay? It's just whatever. So, but Aaron Rodgers' interception, that led to Tom going right back and putting that shit in the end zone right before half. And that just demoralized the Packers. Just, man. Some random Patriots fan. This is the problem with people with good memories. So he says, remember when Aaron freaked out after Brady's 3rd interception? Yeah. I lost my shit. Yes. Yes, I did. It's true. It's true. You thought I was going to have some kind of like brain aneurysm or something, or stroke, or whatever.
Too much stress.
I couldn't believe it. I'm telling you, after the 3rd, just thrown ball deep like that when they're so far ahead and they had the game in hand, I was ready to literally go get on a plane and go to the stadium and just beat the living shit out of Bruce Arians. It's just, man, I have never been that angry before. I have never. What you saw that night, I have never been more angry than that I can think of. I cannot think that I was ever more disgusted and just furious than that. Because it was just such stupidity on it. It was just, wow. It wasn't even the interception itself. That was bad, okay? But it was the fact that you just kept doing it when it wasn't necessary. And that is so against the Patriot way of doing things. It's so, they're lucky that Aaron Rodgers shit himself. So, and not just Aaron Rodgers shit himself, but the head coach shit himself, Matt LaFleur. So, what a loser. Yeah, I only wishing be. I backed off on Arians because they won. So I was like, okay, well maybe he let go. I could tell in the Super Bowl that they weren't doing the dumb shit that they were doing against Green Bay, and I'm almost certain that Tom had a lot to do with that. In fact, Bruce seemed to kind of be hands off in that Super Bowl. I mean, that doesn't tell us much, but I'm going by what he said in interviews afterwards. I mean, he even admitted that. He said, yeah, it was, he kind of let the coordinators take the wheel on that one. So they did a good job too, Shout out to Byron Leftwich working with Tom, and they put a good offensive game plan together. And shout out to Todd Bowles on the defense. They were just guys. That was a dominant. That was football. That was NFL football played at its highest level right there. That if you're a teacher or you coach football and you want to show your students what football is about, there's several Super Bowls that I would put up, but one of them would be Super Bowl 55 as a complete team effort. That was just perfection, man. The way they did that, both sides of the ball, even the special teams, the kicker. That dude, he nailed like a 45-yarder, right, or 47-yarder, or some shit. I mean, they couldn't make a mistake. They couldn't screw up. Everything was just so well done, and that literally is the epitome of team effort when people say that. Another complete game. Saw the Ravens play a great Super Bowl against the New York Giants, and that was, they didn't even have a great quarterback. I mean, it was just Trent Dilfer. Yeah. He wasn't bad, but they just played so flawlessly. It was just really impressive. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not as impressive as the Bucs, but yeah.
Yeah.
Are you back from petting Ramses?
Yes.
James Johnson sends a $5 super chat. That's Lord James Johnson to you guys. Super random, but just imagine if Gronk played on the 2017 with Randy Moss and Wes Welker. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, because Watson was already pretty damn good himself, so. I do remember when Brad Johnson won the Super Bowl, Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Oakland Raiders, and that was actually the Super Bowl sandwiched in between our first dynasty, our early dynasty. So. I need to show you that Super Bowl actually, Milena, because the reason I want to show it to you is because what happened is that the Raiders, their head coach was John Gruden, and they traded him away to the Bucs, and it come back to bite them in the ass because they ended up playing each other in the Super Bowl, and they didn't change anything. The Raiders didn't change anything. They didn't change their offense. They didn't change anything about how they do things, and he knew every play, every call.
Like, why wouldn't they change?
Yeah,
time
and
or what?
that's what I'm saying. And it was just a complete domination. Of course, what are the odds of them meeting the Super Bowl exactly a year after? That has to happen first. But once it did, it was game over for them. But to not change your game plan, to not throw a monkey wrench in there somewhere, that was so bizarre. But yeah, that's a good one to watch because it's a lesson. It's like that Super Bowl was won with knowledge, with information. That it's just that simple. I mean, the Bucs were a good team. They had great players, but so were the Raiders. But it's just a perfect example of what you know. So that's why you're supposed to change your plays. That's why you're supposed to change your playbook. You got to be creative. You got to constantly learn new things.
And have a backup plan.
And a backup plan.
Or two.
And a backup plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donnie Thomas said 5 interceptions, 3 of them were pick sixes. And that was on Rich Gannon, by the way, who was MVP. Mm-hmm. They made Rich Gannon look like nothing.
Wow.
And that's what you can do with knowledge, man. Why do you think that in New England, why does Belichick always go for this certain type of player that can learn different styles, can go from a 3-4 defense to a 4-3 defense like that? Because you never know what you're up against and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Each week, you need a different game plan. You need a whole different scheme. And by doing that, you're constantly reinventing yourself. And you don't have to worry if someone's got your patterns down. You don't give a shit because it's like, oh, well, that year's doesn't exist anymore, and this is what we do now. But you need smart players. New England Patriots have always gone after smart players. Look at the test scores for a lot of the key positions for them. Middle linebacker, they always go after that. Quarterback, offensive line, the test scores always have the good test scores. They go for guys who are from colleges where they're smart, Ivy League schools sometimes, not all Ivy League, but I'm just saying good, solid programs where the academics are just as important. That's what they go after. So sometimes they don't always go after the greatest talented guy. They go after a guy who's not as talented, but is Dante Hightower. Okay? Dante Hightower is fucking genius on defense. Okay? He is our Tom Brady on defense. He is not Von Miller. He's not Khalil Mack. He's not, this crazy pass rushing guy who's, gonna rack up sacks and everything. He's all about the mind. He's all about that, and that's what makes him so good. That's what he does, and missing him last year was a big difference maker. So. Jordan Richards, yep, I love Jordan Richards. Just know what you're doing, okay? And here's why it works. It works because the difference between most of these guys at this level, okay? At the NFL level, the difference is so small. Every NFL team has the best athletes at what they do, okay? Now, if you take a college team, the vast majority of those guys are never going to see football after they graduate.
Yeah.
Okay? But their very best player will end up going to the NFL. And the NFL is made up of nothing but the best of the best of the best. Yeah. So now we're talking about what's the difference between one guy and the other guy. What's the difference between being Von Miller and then being a middle tier linebacker as far as physically? They're both fat. Both dudes will be fast. Both dudes will be real instinctual. They got good footwork. They're strong. They got all that shit. Okay, to a normal person, they would look the same.
Right.
But that little difference is that extra is what guys like Vaughn have. That extra bit of instinct. That extra knowing when to come after the quarterback and when to go on the snap. That makes all the difference in the world. Now, so if you can take those guys whose physical skills aren't that much different, but they're so much smarter, and if you've got everybody doing their job, you've got a damn awesome machine. That's how it works. Let's take a computer, okay? We got a badass computer, okay? So we go get the Mac Pro, we get the badass machine, right? And we've got a processor. It's a new processor. It's the year 2050, and it's got a quantum processor in there, okay? This shit's crazy. But you only got 8 gigabytes of RAM, okay?
No.
Well,
it's not gonna work.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Okay, so your processor's cool, dude. That's badass, And if you put your processor up against another processor, it's gonna kick its ass. But the computer as a whole ain't working. It's just not working because the other things aren't good enough. They can't keep up. You need everybody working together. You need all of it working together. And when everything is working together, you've got an amazing machine. And that's what the Patriots look for. And other good dynasties. Those dynasties had that. Everybody is somebody. Just do your job. Worry about what you're doing. Don't worry about with him, whatever. Do your thing and do it well. That just one thing. I want you to do one thing. I'm going to give you an assignment. That's your assignment for this week. If you do that and he does his and he does his, everyone's accounted for. I know that if he does his, he does his, he does his, and it will work. It'll be like a symphony. It'll be perfect. And you don't have to be Von Miller. You don't have to be Deion Sanders. You don't have to be that to make this work and to win multiple Super Bowls. And that's what they did. People are always saying, how does this work? What's the secret? Well, that's one of them. And then you need a quarterback who is going to make everybody believe it and pull it together and want to play better than they are. I always said if I ran a team, I would rarely have a guy who had very poor test scores. Yeah. Like if he tested poorly on like everything and what the hell? It's gone out of my head. What's the NFL test that they give them before the draft? The NFL. Not the ASVAB. That's a military test. That's. Wonderlic. Oh, yeah. So the Wonderlic test that the NFL gives all draft picks, that kind of that's what that's for, is to see what their understanding is in different areas, and it helps. If a guy has got a really shitty Wonderlic test, the first thing I'm going to wonder if it's really bad is if they're bad test takers. So I'd kind of investigate into that, and then that's when you would kind of learn in the interview process. But if they just repeatedly just keep, that's going to worry me. I'm going to need to know that there's exceptions, okay? Yeah. There's guys who are so athletically gifted that you will go ahead and you'll deal with it. And it depends on your position too. So. Running back is a position normally that you can go with a guy with lower test scores.
What about a kicker?
A kicker?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you picked the one position that I don't have an answer for. A kicker's a kicker. It's muscle memory and nerves.
Yeah, you probably don't need that.
Yeah.
High.
But it's probably not as. But I don't think you're going to run into too many problems with that anyway. So.
Yeah. But for a
quarterback,
positions, especially for a quarterback.
I am not drafting a dumb shit. Sorry, that's not happening. So.
Yeah. Like. You need that ingredient.
Yeah, and like Donnie's saying here, Bill has caught some crap on drafts. Offense. Mm-hmm. First round offense, to be more specific. But yeah. But he took Edelman. He saw something in Edelman, and he didn't even know what position he'd play. Edelman was a quarterback in college. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So he never played quarterback in the NFL ever. But
right.
Bill knew he could play football. He could do something, and then he took Chris Hogan, who was a lacrosse player, and gave him a shot, and knew that he could be worked with. And then Gerard Mayo, took Gerard Mayo in the first round. Gerard Mayo, he knew who he would be, and what did Mayo end up doing? He became our quarterback of the defense. He was our leader. He was made sure everybody was in the right position. Then he drafted Dante Hightower. Dante Hightower's rookie year, he was already being trusted with play calling and position, putting people in position. Already, as a rookie.
Yeah.
By Dante's second year, he was out there what are you doing? Hey, get your ass over there. talking to these guys who had been on the team for years. That's why you get Dante Hightower.
Exceptional.
Exceptional.
Brilliant. Yeah. I mean, ideally you want everyone to be like that, but it's a combination that you don't get every day.
Yeah.
Mm.
Lamar Jackson did bad on the Wonderlic, and
Right.
Lamar Jackson is the exception, like I was saying. There's some times where you've got a guy who is so ridiculously gifted athletically that you'll take a chance, you'll take a risk, and go ahead and go with it. But also in Lamar Jackson's case, and his is an interesting case. Lamar was never drafted to the Ravens to be Tom Brady or to be Peyton Manning. That's not what he was about. What are the Ravens about? The Ravens are about defense. They're about running the ball. That's always been their thing. It's what they like to do. It's what they believe in. John Harbaugh was transitioning the Baltimore Ravens into a running game, a running team, and into a quarterback, and even a scrambling quarterback style before Lamar Jackson was drafted. And I called that shit back then. And I said, they are trying to phase out Joe Flacco.
What year?
This would have been
About.
when I thought that they were phasing him out.
Mm.
I thought around 2017 they were starting to 2016, 2017 they were starting to push Joe out the door.
Right. Okay.
So
I remember.
yeah, so they were transitioning, and then I said, I told you, I said, this was a time where Colin Kaepernick was trying to get away from the 49ers, and I said the Ravens would be the right spot for him. And I said, because the Ravens are going to acquire somehow, this was before Lamar Jackson was drafted, I think, but I said, the Ravens are going in that direction, so Colin would be a backup there, probably a good
Right.
target. And then we found out that Colin did get a job interview for the Ravens.
I was gonna say that
Yeah.
was for the Ravens that
Yes.
he.
And
We
his girlfriend.
don't want to go there, but his girlfriend kind of insulted
ruined it. Yeah.
or whatever ruined.
But yeah, the Ravens were transitioning to this. So Lamar Jackson fit their thing, which is where that would be the exception, you know? But that's not the kind of quarterback I would want on my team, because that's not what I prefer. Like, it's your preference. It depends on what you like and what you want to do. But he's a Raven. He fits the Ravens thing. I mean, if anything, Joe Flacco was kind of the odd man out, kind of the strange. It was such a non-Raven style, actually. So that was kind of interesting for a few years there. But yeah, but Lamar is the exception. But even that's going to catch up with him.
Yeah.
Lamar is going to have to start adjusting to reading defenses and things like that if he wants to last in a long time, because he's going to run into injuries. Michael Vick had the same problem. Michael Vick, talented guy, but he kept getting banged up all of the time. Because when you're a quarterback and you cross that line of scrimmage, you're a runner. And now you can be hit.
Yep.
So you gotta adjust your game. Patrick Mahomes needs to do that too. Every time I see Patrick Mahomes get touched, he gets up awkwardly. Like, I'm like, my God, man, if he doesn't start changing his game a bit, he's not gonna last either. So Jamarcus Russell, that guy's a fucking retard. Let me tell you something about Jamarcus Russell. You ever heard of Jamarcus Russell?
Yes.
Okay. So he was picked by the Raiders, number 1 overall. And everybody, fans, draft experts, scouts, all of the other teams saying, do not take this guy number 1 overall. And they did. and the coaches, the offensive coaches, were worried that he wasn't listening.
Yes.
And paying attention to learning the plays. And he'd say, "Oh yeah, I learned the playbook, whatever." So they had a good idea. They gave him some tape to watch, to take home and watch the plays. And the tapes were blank. And he comes back on Monday, and he says, yeah, I'm ready to go." And he goes, "Oh, did you get all the plays down?" He goes, yeah, I watched them all, learned them, got them down. And they're like, those tapes were blank, dude. And that's not always that's not the only thing that they would do. There's all kinds of stories like that to see if rookies pay attention. Sometimes there's some other stories where this is an old story. This they've been doing this since the 70s, at least. I even heard about this story when I was young. But when they would draft a guy or a prospect, and not drafted, but they're looking at a guy to draft, and they're looking at a bunch of different ones. What's going on in the chat? Nothing? Okay. But what they would do is they would want to see if these quarterbacks would study the playbook that they sent them. So they send these prospects these playbooks, and they'd put a $100 bill on the last page of the playbook to see if they would respond to it. And guys would bring back the playbook and they say, "Yeah, I read it." "Really? You have no comment? Nothing? Nothing weird? Nothing strange to you?"
Yeah.
No. Really? So you're telling me that if you read that playbook and there was a $100 taped to the back page, that you didn't think, like, why is there a $100 bill in my playbook? See what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've done little things like this over the years to find out if you're really trying.
That was so weird.
So they gave this guy millions of dollars.
I was gonna say, you would think for the money and benefits they're getting, they would at least read the book or watch the tape or whatever is they're being told to do. So weird. I was just answering.
I root against. Okay. So yeah, I want to go over this real quick, guys. Wow, we got off on a whole long thing about all that other I didn't expect, but that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's the off season. We don't have a lot to talk about actually. So, but there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, and just hear me out for a second. So,
Okay.
okay. Hang on just a second, guys. Just a second. Don't go anywhere. 30 seconds. I thought we were going to make it a whole game, or a whole game, a whole show without Ramses trying to do something. So I'm going to wait for Milena to return. So that'll give me a chance to see what you are saying. Mahomes has 8 to 10 more years tops. Only if he doesn't adjust. If he starts to where he can get rid of the ball fast and because listen, people say the offensive line fell and that shit happens, guys. The offensive line does fail sometimes. Not every year is your offensive line going to be perfect, and you've got to be able to adjust to that. And if he can do that, then yeah, he'll last a while. But if he doesn't, then he won't. But a lot of that's not Patrick's fault. A lot of that is Andy Reid. Andy Reid ain't coaching him to do that just yet, or at least it doesn't seem like it. Oh, thanks. Thank you. New Coke. All right, so I'm about to go on my LeBron rant. You ready?
Wait. Wait.
Okay, and we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you.
I don't want to miss that.
She doesn't want to miss this one.
Okay.
Oh, what am I munching on? I'm sorry. Is it annoying you?
A gum? Is it?
It's just gum. Yeah. So let me tell you why I'm doing this. So there was a vote, a poll that they said, why is LeBron so hated?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Then FS1, so Undisputed, Skip and Shannon, they addressed this, and then they had a guy named Chris Broussard, and I don't on there, and I don't know if you guys know who Chris Broussard is, but well, if you've ever watched Undisputed, you probably know who he is. He's actually partnered with the retard Rob Parker, but he comes on to answer this question, and he's got the most obnoxious voice that you've ever heard in your life. LeBron James. So LeBron James is so hated in Miami. You know, hey, he was hated because he went to Miami. But LeBron James, I mean, I just want to shoot myself when he's talking. Okay, this guy.
Wow.
But do you know what their answers were for why LeBron is hated?
Yeah, because he's good. I'm sure.
No.
No.
That was too sensible.
Ooh.
That no. That would actually make sense. Okay? No. social justice.
Oh, politics maybe?
Social justice. So everyone hates LeBron because of his social justice stances. All right. How long has that been going on? Like a few years? Let me tell you something.
Got popular recently.
Dude, people didn't like LeBron since the day he came into the league. And the point of this is that that's all they ever talk about. Can they give an answer that has something to do with anything that's not related to other bullshit that's going on? I mean, like, it's driven me crazy, all right? LeBron James did not create, LeBron James, he didn't create social justice awareness, all right? And he certainly wasn't the first one. No, that is not why he is hated, okay? So the first thing he tried to do is they tried to say there was a bunch of racist white people who don't like LeBron. Okay. Apparently, the only people that it would matter, if that's the reason why they hated him, would be NBA fans. Because it wouldn't matter if you're not an NBA fan, then what would it matter if you hate LeBron or not, right? So you would be mentioning the NBA fans. Well, the NBA fans, if they're NBA fans in a league that's what, like 95% black? What kind of racist are they? That they hate LeBron because they're racist, but yet they love the other 95% of the league. So
it's a selective racist?
I don't know what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing this up is because I know why LeBron is hated. And it's not that. Okay? So they go on this rant about that. And neither one of them, neither Shannon or Chris Broussard, would bring up any good points first. They brought up that shit.
Nice.
So, Americans in general, they do not like people who brag and are show-offy when they've not done something. Now,
even when they've done something.
Even when you've done something it tends to be a little annoying. But if you win a lot, it can be charming. And then it can be almost like, hell yeah, okay? Yeah. But you let other people talk about how great you are. That's what you do, okay? From day one that he came into the league, the chosen one.
What was that?
The chosen one. Okay? And then they'd have billboards that says, "We are all a witness." King James. All of this biblical stuff. Okay? You know, King James Bible.
Yeah.
We're a witness. The chosen one. Yeah, that's not going to go over very well. Okay? Especially since you haven't done shit. And it's not like you can say that he dominated college basketball. It's not like you can say that he won like back-to-back championships and all this shit, right? Why? Because he never went to college.
Oh.
They took him straight from high school, just like Kobe.
Wow.
So, you're calling a high school kid the chosen one, that we're all witnesses to his greatness.
Oh.
That he is the next Michael Jordan. And that he wore the number 23, just like Michael Jordan. And he was crammed down everyone's throats almost immediately. That is what started it. That is your source right there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You didn't let him prove it. If you didn't start that shit and he starts winning and because he started playing great and he was dominating, doing all this cool stuff for such a young player and everything, everyone would have started to say those things. Okay? Then people would have started, the fans, and would have started being like, could he be, this guy's great. He's the chosen, they would have come up with this stuff, right?
Special.
But it was all bullshit propaganda. It was nothing else but that, and people don't like that stuff. They want to see you do something. But like you were saying, even if you do something, they don't want you to be the one talking shit.
Yeah.
Okay?
It even devalues it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then he goes from that to leaving Cleveland. So he bailed on the city that drafted him, and he's from Ohio, by the way. He's from Akron.
Yeah.
So you're leaving your state, and you go to Miami to build a super team there. But what you do is that you host a televised event on ESPN, right? And they made millions. They sold like tons of advertising, okay?
Yeah.
It was called The Decision. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Okay. You couldn't have just said that? That whole spectacle, it pissed people off. Okay? I didn't care about it. I didn't give a shit either way. But I'm saying, I'm giving reasons why that I know of why people don't like them. Not all of them are reasons why I don't like them, and some of them are, some of them aren't. But I'm just listing all the reasons that I know of why people don't, that he rubs people the wrong way. That wasn't a good idea, man. The great ones win. The great ones turn the organization that they started with into winners. That's what the great ones do. Okay? You don't leave, screw them over, and then come back. Because you screwed them. Here's the deal. So you leave Cleveland, and then they're left with nothing.
Yeah.
So they get a lot of first-round draft picks, high draft picks, because they suck. While they're sucking and experiencing that suckage, all right, you're in Miami with the super team, and Cleveland is getting those number one draft picks over and over again by sucking. Once the sucking's over and they got those draft picks, you come back to them. Now that they've got some good dudes, right? And then they acquired a few guys. That's not cool.
That's not cool.
That's not cool. That's just.
It even sounds like a scheme.
It sounds like a damn a pyramid scheme or some shit, right? All right. So it sounds like a fraud, scam.
Yeah, it's like,
all right. So people didn't like that. They thought that was weird. So when he gets to Miami, though, him and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, they have an announcement where they introduce them to the fans, and they get on the microphone, and LeBron says, "We're not just going to win one championship, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, or some shit." They kept counting up a number, saying how many championships they're going to win.
Eye roll.
Dude, you've not even won one. The only guy with a ring on that stage was Dwayne Wade, who he won with Shaq for the Miami Heat. That didn't go over well. Everyone was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then they play the Dallas Mavericks. They lose. The Dallas Mavericks beat them in the finals, and LeBron doesn't show up. Okay? Total, it just wasn't prepared for the moment at all. And they lose. And then they beat up a very young, inexperienced Oklahoma City Thunder team the next year. It was very, very, all nice and set up for them. But, they end up getting 2 rings out of it. And then they lose their 4th one to the Spurs. And that ends it. So he goes back to Cleveland. But all of that, LeBron became a villain almost in that sense. That isn't the way to get Americans to really want to think that you're somebody, okay? Larry Bird, he's drafted the Celtics. They had no offense to those Celtics teams, but Larry made those guys better than they should have been. Okay, and the Celtics, he made them good. Jordan, he comes to the Bulls. He makes the Bulls relevant. Kobe. Now, Kobe was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, but immediately traded to the Lakers. Like, immediately. So, he's a Laker. So, you might as well say he was drafted by the Lakers. But he helped the Lakers become awesome again.
Yes.
Because they hadn't been the Lakers since the early 90s after Magic Johnson and all those guys retired. So him and Shaq came together, and Kobe fulfilled that. All right? That's what you do. Now, I know he went to Cleveland, he won the championship with them, but that was after he let them suck ass so they could get some of those high draft picks. That's some shady shit, man.
Yeah. How much he get paid for that?
So, yeah, that rubs people the wrong way, you know? And all of these things have nothing to do with anything related to social issues. Now, does that mean that there are not people who don't like him because of that? Because of the social stuff that he of course. But do they really matter? Are those people the ones tuning in to the NBA every day? I don't know. I mean, are they? I don't know if they are. But does it make a difference?
Right.
The people who don't like LeBron are the people in your own market. The people you're marketing to, which are the NBA fans, they don't like him because of these reasons.
From
the Jordan thing,
back.
the way, yes, the basketball reasons, the marketing reasons. It ain't got nothing to do with that shit. Not for them, because it was already there. And when you are a person like that, and you're doing shit like that, and people don't like that stuff, then every mistake you make later on is magnified by 100.
Yeah.
So now another player may be able to do the same thing that LeBron does now, but people aren't hating on him because they didn't really hate him before. You know? Kevin Durant or whatever, people started hating on him because he went to the Golden State Warriors to a super team. He did the same thing. People didn't like that shit. Kevin Durant got the same treatment. Kevin Durant's not hated because of some social justice awareness. Kevin Durant is hated because he left the Oklahoma City Thunder and went to the Golden State Warriors, to a stacked team who was already a dynasty, and then added to that. That's why they don't like him. See what I mean?
They keep stirring this, raised bait,
and if you want to add to it, LeBron sided with China, the Chinese Communist Party, over the Hong Kong protesters who were wanting democracy and freedom. That rubs people the wrong way too. But again, not all those people are people that you're even your target audience, so that's not relevant to the conversation.
Yeah.
It's what you did as a basketball player. It's when you went on TV and told people that when I went back to Cleveland and we beat the Golden State Warriors, he goes, I think that made me the greatest of all time.
Made me?
What the?
Who talks like that, It just...
Dude, let us determine that. Let us say those things. That's for us to say, not for you. It's for us to do that. You want to say that privately to your friends and stuff and your teammates, that's cool, man. Do it. But you say that stuff publicly, and you don't and you get surprised when people are like, what the shit is this? Let me tell you something, LeBron. I'd take Kobe over you in a second. In a second. I don't even have to think about it. There's nothing to think about.
Jordan. Kobe.
Jordan.
Shaq.
Kobe. Okay.
They're all...
It's just...
For those...
Dude, Michael Jordan was an asshole. Okay?
Yeah.
To his teammates. So was Kobe.
Yeah.
You know why? They wanted to win at any cost.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what Kobe said, okay? Kobe was asked, well, how come you and Jordan are so known for being so hard on your teammates? And Kobe said, well, I can't speak for Jordan, but I think that he probably would have the same answer. But for me, he said, if they cannot handle what I'm putting on them, what are they going to do when the opponent is going to put 10 times more of that shit on them? If you can't handle your own teammate, whom you know and who you're friends with and who you go to bat war with every day, if you can't handle me pissing all over you, what are you going to do when we play in the finals against a fierce, hardcore, scrappy team who wins at all costs? That's why. And what happens is stories get out. Oh, Kobe's a bad teammate. He's mean to them. Oh, boo fucking who?
He got paid.
Mean to you? Mean to you?
Yeah.
My God, man, if I was teammates with Kobe Bryant and he said, you fucking suck, man, get over there. You want to play again, you fix that shit. Guess what I'm doing? I'm fixing that shit. I say, yes, sir. Yes, Kobe. What do you want me to do? Okay, yes, I'll do it. No. What these guys do, they go to the media. Kobe
Yelled at me.
he cussed at me in front of the team. You soft little man. It's just...
Yeah. At that level, with this type of, like, what's at stake, with the millions of dollars that they get paid, I think it's okay, someone to
Yeah.
yell to improve you. I don't know, somehow.
Exactly. If I'm a fan of a team, okay, and the star player that's on the team that I'm a fan of, right? If he is not holding those dudes accountable, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
I want that guy to be hardcore. Ask Julian Edelman or Gronk about Tom Brady yelling at them.
He
Okay.
does too.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
psychotic. They said he's meaner in practice than he is in a game. Meaner in practice than in a game. Think about that. What the hell, man? Now you know why Kobe's got 5. 5 rings. Why does Kobe have 5 rings? Why does Jordan have 6? Why does Tom have 7? These guys are freaking psycho. Okay? They're not going around talking about how great they are. They're showing how great they are.
No, Ramsey.
There's a big difference.
Get down.
If LeBron had stayed in Cleveland and made them champions, my God, my respect for him would have been insane. To bring Cleveland a championship like that in that way, where all that other drama didn't happen, man, that would have been badass. But you just can't do those things. And Chris Broussard said LeBron is hated, and Shannon says, oh, he's hated because people don't like it when you say things against the system. And then they had the audacity to bring up Muhammad Ali. I got news for you, Shannon. People didn't like Muhammad Ali because he was a big mouth. Okay? It was during an era in America where that didn't go over well like it does now. Now we see it as trash talking. Okay? It's part of our culture now, but it wasn't part of the culture back then. People didn't dislike Muhammad Ali because he was standing up for civil rights. They didn't like him. Well, a lot of people didn't like him because of his stance on Vietnam War, but in this, historically looking back, he was right. That war was a sham. But you don't shit on the soldiers, and I don't know if Muhammad Ali ever did that. I have no idea. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that that's not popular, okay? But it was his era of trash talking is not popular. And Jim Brown was also for civil rights and was doing that with them. And then you had guys that were that changed things, like Jackie Robinson, for example. Nobody hated those guys. Okay? So no, it's not. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just they bring up these things just to start arguments and get people to hate each other and get people fighting. That's what they're doing. That's what it's all about. It's ridiculous. LeBron is not easy to like. Okay, he's just not. I mean, there's just something there. He just rubs people the wrong way. That's how it works. Let me tell you something. Tom Brady is one of the most hated athletes in America. And he seemingly does everything correctly. It's still not enough, you know? Boner. Oh, okay. Sorry, you're back. I muted you. Or I turned off the.
Oh, it's okay.
Wait. There we go. You're back. Okay. So let's catch up with these comments real quick. Oh yeah, Wishenby. Wishenby says, "I'm convinced that Tom's studying playbooks back in college is a big part of who he is today." Absolutely. Yeah, Tom even said that he learned a lot about how to study the game when he was at Michigan. Yeah, it made him the perfect fit for Bill Belichick. See, Belichick wants a guy who lives and breathes that stuff.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I just like those players that are just they want to win at any cost. There's nothing that stops them. There's no excuses. Guys, I watched Kobe Bryant have his finger knocked out of dislocated like completely. All right, he walks over to the sidelines. The coach walks up and they're trying to so nobody can see, but you can see it clearly. The coach goes, "You ready? 1, 2, 3." Kobe's like, "Oh, fuck." He gets back on the court. I mean...
They're fixed it.
Dude, there's no such thing as load management. They have this thing now called load management. Okay?
What does that even mean?
Yeah, load management. So what it is that these players, the star players, they get to sit out a few games to preserve them. Okay? Okay. Well, Kobe and Jordan, those guys, they didn't do that stuff. All right? So people don't like it. A lot of fans don't like it. Whether you're against it or not, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, for some reason, apparently the majority of the fan base of the NBA doesn't like that type of thing. And it's a good argument. I mean, I can see both sides of why you would do that.
Sure.
One side is you want to preserve these guys for the playoffs because the season's so long. My opinion, I think the NBA season is too long anyway. Just shorten it. Instead of this load management bullshit, just shorten the season. But that's a different thing.
Way too many games.
Way too many games. So they don't matter, you know? You don't have to start watching NBA until March. Okay? Literally. You can miss the whole thing all the way until March, and that's it. But and then there's the other side saying that people pay their money to go see a star player, and then they find out that they're sitting on the bench in a suit, completely healthy, and it's total bullshit. Remember that time I took you to see Kobe versus LeBron?
Right.
At the Lakers?
Yeah.
What if we had gone and we spent all that money to go there, and you're expecting to see Kobe versus LeBron, and they're sitting on the bench in suits?
Nice.
How pissed off would you have been? Now, there was no way LeBron was not going to play in that game because it's the Lakers. They don't do that for high-profile games like that. But what if you're a kid in Utah, Salt Lake City, okay?
No.
and you it's your first basketball game. Your parents finally get the money to take you to a game, and then he's on the bench.
Yeah,
And that's one thing Kobe said. He goes, every city I go to, there's a kid out there wanting to watch Kobe Bryant play, and I got to put on a performance. Doesn't matter where you're at. And so that's another thing that people don't like. It was that whole load management shit. So just shorten the season. That's all. Ben Shapiro, he's got an annoying ass voice. Oh yeah, yeah. Talks way too fast. Very nasally. Imagine an argument between Ben Shapiro and Chris Broussard. LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. And Ben Shapiro, no he's not, no he's not, no he's not. LeBron James is never going to be Michael Jordan.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh no.
No thanks.
A long debate of 2 hours like that. Oh man, that would be funny.
No. LeBron didn't prove it. No. You talk trash after you've proven it.
Yeah.
You don't do it before you've done something. That people don't like that shit.
Yeah.
So. Well, it's a good thing I saved this for the end because not everybody likes this topic. So. This was a fun show tonight.
Yep.
So it looks like basically everybody, we all kind of agree on this. The Minuteman. Oh, that's badass. Cool. Welcome. Yeah, Donnie, the stats, I don't give a shit. Listen, everything needs context. All right? If I have to build a franchise, I'm building it around Kobe, not LeBron. I need a guy who is a killer. I need a guy who is a like psycho out there. I need a guy who's going to make everybody just, hold everyone accountable. I need that kind of fire. I need a guy who I know you're going to have to kill him to get him off the court. That's what I want. And that's what Kobe is. That's what Jordan is.
Yep.
Yeah, when you played Kobe, you played Jordan, you played Shaq and those guys. Well, Shaq for different reasons. But when you played Kobe and you played Jordan, you knew that they were going to go hardcore, 100 miles per hour on every play.
Yeah.
Every game. Didn't matter what the game was. It could be game 57 in Memphis that nobody's watching, nobody gives a shit about, and they're out there playing like it's the NBA Finals. Another thing about Kobe that I love versus LeBron is go watch the Olympics. Go back and watch the ones in Beijing and the ones in London. I think it's the ones in London. Yeah. 2008 and 2012. Watch those teams. Who's the leader of that team? Kobe. Okay? LeBron's on that team, but nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
It's like he's there, but he's not there. That is Kobe's team, dude. He just took control of it. And that right there really shows you who he is. Yeah, I do feel sorry for him that he's got to work with Rob Parker. That's rough. Yeah, that's rough. And actually, I don't have anything against Chris Broussard personally. I just can't stand the voice. It's just his voice is obnoxious. I just wish he wouldn't talk like that. I think he does it on purpose. LeBron James. Oh, why can't you just say LeBron James? Just LeBron James. Say it with me. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. Ah, fucker. Hey, look who joined the party. Raphael Higoy, $2 super chat. He says, thanks for the ammo for debate. Which one? You talking about the LeBron one or earlier? You're really late, dude.
Yep. Better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never.
Better late than never.
Holy shit, is the sun coming out?
Yeah, that's why I was trying to point earlier.
It's
So I'm kind of yawning.
It's almost 6 a.m. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to wrap up.
All right. So before we wrap up here, guys, anything else you want to ask me about or address that went on since last week?
And I would explain again about the membership and subscription email.
Okay. Yes.
And just how it
So
works.
one more time, guys, if you're a member, and if you're not, I hope you join the Empire because we're building a secret society, a community that I want you to be a part of. It starts out at only $2 a month. So if you're sending super chats, it's $2 or more. You might as well join the membership, and then get all the extra stuff, and then we're all connected in that way. But if you're joining, just now joining or about to join, or you already have, please email me at vonallensports@icloud.com and tell me, just say hi or whatever, so I have your personal email address and I can respond back to you and we can talk about where in the Empire and in the membership that you want to be. So.
Ramsey, no.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Kitty cat.
Kitty cat.
Attack of the kitty cat. Attack of the Ramses.
He always wants to be part of this. Come here.
That's what you get for naming your cat after a pharaoh. He really believes that he's king. So.
Yeah. Ouch. Ramsey, ouch. Okay, there he is.
So no? All right. Either nobody has any comments or this thing's really behind.
Yeah. Oh, over there. Don't look at me. Okay. Oh, he's knocked down my computer now. Okay, Ramsey. Go away.
All right, guys. With it, I've had a great time here. Sorry I didn't get a chance to take phone calls tonight. I kind of got lost in what I was talking about. But I'll take phone calls on the next show, I promise. And so keep an eye out on some new stuff, and also mental MMA. We're going to be going into MMA soon. That's gonna be awesome. So.
Yeah.
What?
I'm just laughing at.
Oh, Donnie Thomas says, I laughed the moment you said no one gives a shit. Kobe was very special. I'm glad I was able to witness Bird Mag. Kobe, I named my first son Kobe. Oh, that's awesome. My brother, he had a son 2 years ago and named him Thomas Brady Allen.
Yes.
And we just had another one. He just had another one recently and named him after me. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I love all you guys being here. You're awesome. Thank you. And all you people who are new, or I think you're new, please subscribe and click the bell icon, because if you don't click that, it won't work. But we love having new people here. We're like a family here. So, and unlike other YouTubers, I pay attention to what you say to me, and I read your comments. I respond. I appreciate them.
Yeah.
I don't ignore them like so many asshole YouTubers do, which is really pathetic. But
yeah,
they do.
You can comment even after the show, or if you're rewatching this, and we'll respond.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.